I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Stone. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you have such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Real talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Trina Parks. You're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on YouTube, the IE Network, youtube.com/IE Network TV. Also Twitter via Periscope. And of course, the social network itself, Facebook. Thank you for joining us. A joyous time in the world of nerds, comic book nerds and geeks like myself, film buffs. This has been a joyous time. This is a great month. We started off with the Coming to America, beginning of the month, Eddie Murphy. We now have experienced, I haven't watched, I have experienced several times the Snyder Cut, aka Zack Snyder's Justice League. And also we've had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier premiere on Disney, Marvel, for all you Marvel heads. And just as I'm coming down off my high, we're going to end this month, God willing, with a little bit of Godzilla versus Kong. So this is a great month for film lovers, filmmakers, and people who study the craft, people who enjoy watching it. Whether you are a filmmaker, a film lover, whatever, this is a great month for cinema. So, not cinema as far as going to the cinema, but just for film. So we thank you again for joining us here for another day, another evening, another Manic Monday. Happy Manic Monday to everybody. It is what it is. This is the only part of Monday that I truly enjoy. And I have to say that. Spending time with you guys and you guys spending time with me. I'm going to shout out the chat room real quick. You know what I mean? Everybody who comes through and hold us down. The heavy hitters, I'm sure they'll come through here. Big up to Heaven Hollywood. I'm sure he'll show up before long. Jimmy Ace will be here, I'm sure, sooner than later. Oh, big shout out to my man, Joseph Tanner, one of our most loyal listeners. He's just celebrated his 45th birthday on Saturday. Very cool. Very cool. And guess what? Happy birthday, Joseph. From here, the staff here at Real Talk, myself, the director, the Jedi Council, which I'll bring on sooner than later, in a few seconds, actually. Happy birthday, sir. We sure appreciate you for all of your loyalty and support that you give us and give the show. We do appreciate you. You stay active in the chat room. You ask questions. You drop knowledge. And your general love for the craft of filmmaking and talk radio. We truly appreciate you, Joseph. We truly do. So, show tonight, pretty simple. The Snyder Cut. We'll be talking mostly that. I am going to get to a quick note because I got more unfolding. I'm going to get more into it after I read her book. So Sharon Stone has a book coming out, and it's called, let me see the name of it again, because I don't want to butcher the name of her book, but it's, I just bought it. I pre-ordered it, and I'd like to see, I want to read. I think it comes at the end of this month, but anyway, so Sharon Stone has a tell-all book, right? And let's see if we can find the actual name of it. Sharon Stone book. Right, The Beauty of Living Twice. That's the name of the book. In this book, I just didn't want to butcher the name, Sharon. In this book, Sharon Stone goes into a lot of things about her career and her life. But what's making the news, of course, the parts of the book that's really making the news, is a part where she drops a little Me Too action on us. She some Me Too stories that I'm sure she had to endure, poor thing, in this business. The story goes, Sharon Stone basically talks about in her book the pressure some producers, pressured her into trying to have sex with her male co-stars in order to build chemistry. And I tell you, man, I'm going to go right here on record as a filmmaker, as a director, as a film producer. Having sex off screen does not help your chemistry. So not on camera chemistry. Maybe chemistry as people, maybe. So that's nothing more. I'll get this out of the way very quickly. That's nothing more than a scumbag producer throwing an alley-oop to his lead actor. That's all it is. Scumbag producer throwing an alley-oop to his lead actor for whatever reason. Now, she does not name names. Now, I need to get Heaven Hollywood up here on here. We'll probably do another show talking about it together, because we and him talked about this behind the scenes. And I'm gonna bring this up to Ralph to see what he thinks. She did not mention names, and I think in the book she doesn't mention names as well. Okay. Now, we know Sharon Stone basically had like major sex scenes she had sex scenes in quite a few movies. Her major sex scenes was in, of course, Basic Instinct, and Sliver. Those were the two major hottest sex scenes that she had, I would say, or if you want to say explicit sex scenes. She also had quick little sex scenes, and she had like a fellatio, we'll call it. She had a blowjob scene in Casino. Real not too graphic, right? So with that being said, she has a quote. I don't know if the quote is on here, and I'm gonna before I even go into that, I'm gonna bring in Ralph from Jedi Council and see what he's goes into this. I want to explore this together. If we can all explore this together real quick, then I promise we'll get into Zack Snyder. We'll talk about it, and we also got AJ Perez coming on later tonight, joining us to give us his nerd report from out on the West Coast. So, brought my Jedi Council with me. I did not lie to you. At least one half of them is here, and Ralph's in the building. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy birthday, Joseph. Big shout out to one of our most diehard loyal fans out there.
Yeah.
Hope it was good.
Man. He's loyal to the whole crew, the whole network. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He's not just so loyal to this show. He's loyal to the other shows that come on. He is the true definition of a supporter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because I don't like to refer to people as fans. Yeah, I don't like calling them fans. Fan is short for fanatic. I don't like calling people fans. I like calling you supporters. So every one of you that watch this show, you are a supporter, and I thank you. I thank you for it. Also, so I was talking about and AJ is backstage. I'm going to bring him in a second. Might as well. I know he's heard about this too. So we were discussing supporters all day. Yeah, we were discussing Sharon Stone. Big up to my man here, Mousepiration. Oh, that's my dude right there. I'm like, what's that name? Michael. What up, my dude? Michael Majuri in the building. You know what I'm saying? He does. I think he does. I think you do I think he does a podcast as well. You gotta drop that in the chat room, Michael. We'll support you. We're all about support. All right, yeah. So we talk about Sharon Stone. We're gonna bring in our guest for the evening, AJ Perez, all the way from the West Coast. So what we say right now doesn't get to him 3 hours from now, but he can hear everything right here on Real Talk. But anyway,
I got my green smoothie.
You got the green smoothie. I just had a smoothie today earlier, and
I got my raspberry juice. What's left?
You know what it is though? I can't put kiwi in my. I put kiwi in my smoothie, right? But those stupid little seeds, they didn't get crushed or anything, so they keep coming up through the straw, and I hate them. I hate the seeds. But anyway, anyhow,
man, when I worked for the post office, it was this store out there in Hackensack. I don't even know if it's still there. I used to hear the carriers call and say, "Yeah, I'll take a kiwi, celery, pumpkin smoothie." I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, that's a little
too much.
Extra.
That's too
a little
much.
extra. So AJ, I begin the show talking real quickly about what's in the news, and Sharon Stone, she has her book coming out. And the book is called. Yeah, I pre-ordered it. It's called The Beauty of Living Twice. So once that book comes out, I'm gonna check it out. And we talked about obviously what's been making the headlines is where she talks about producers that were pressuring her to sleep with her male co-stars.
Dirty, man.
Yeah,
that's all dirty.
Yo, it's crazy. So here's the deal. Now, what me and my brother Heaven Hollywood talked about, I'm gonna bring it to the table now. We were like, okay, look, we know for a fact that Sharon Stone has 2 to 3 major films where she had like explicit sex scenes. That being Sliver and of course Basic Instinct. She had like a fellatio scene in Casino and maybe another movie she may have had like a sex scene. So now
Basic Instinct 2 for the 2 people that actually saw it, like me.
Basic Instinct 2.
Sharon, you owe me some money.
Yeah, I think she owes all of us a little money for
that.
You
owe all of us.
But here's the deal. So she goes on to talk about, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing. She goes on to talk about how producers have, she doesn't mention any names, and I don't think she mentions names in the book either, but she does say, this particular actor was not really doing, he wasn't a good actor. Exactly. He wasn't really doing anything.
Going to make them better.
Right. Yeah, she's like, having sex with this guy isn't going to make him a better actor. She said, because nobody's that good in bed.
That's easy. That's the easiest person to pick out right there. That's Steven Seagal. That's Steven Seagal right there.
No, now Steven Seagal. Oh, wait. What movie was she in with him again?
Above the Law.
Above the Law. Yeah. True. That is true. I didn't think about that.
That was she played his wife?
I'm gonna tell you who I thought about. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about Baldwin, William Baldwin. I thought about Billy Baldwin because he ain't that good of an actor either.
It just might be Billy Baldwin, but
Douglas, because Douglas can act. Michael Douglas can act. It's not Douglas because that, and it ain't nobody from Casino.
Well, she mentioned what time in her career this happened.
She didn't mention. She tried to keep it vague. Now, there
could have been Grease. I mean, wasn't she in Grease too also?
Yeah, but she didn't have those sex scenes in there.
That's Michelle Pfeiffer.
They were just talking about for chemistry. They were saying off camera, yeah. And she didn't get along with no, that was Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease.
Yeah.
That wasn't Sharon.
I seriously.
She was in Total Recall.
Okay, right? I was about to say maybe Total Recall. This is just me theorizing with people that probably pushed up on Sharon Stone. I'm not going to say Michael Douglas. I will say Ryan O'Neal when she was in Intolerable Crew. The first movie she was in. She was in that with Ryan O'Neal and Shelley Long. I think it was Intolerable something. I forget the name of it. I remember that one. I'm certainly going to say Steven Seagal.
You're going to say Steven Seagal. He's on the list.
Right. Maybe Baldwin.
I say Billy Baldwin because Billy Baldwin, they kind of needed to really have on-screen chemistry because of the relationship in the movie, right? Like the first person that would come to mind would be Michael Douglas, but Michael Douglas can act, so I think that eliminates him as far as her talking about him and that aspect. Now there's a whole nother story behind that because Michael Douglas, I remember reading somewhere, and my brother Heaven Hollywood, he sent me the story too. It was somewhere about where Michael Douglas was somewhere during
he
he started
had oral
drinking.
cancer. He said he got oral cancer from of having oral sex with women.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about was there was a time where they were doing the premiere or whatever the case would be, and he got drunk, he was drinking, and he just started at that point. He just started the juicy mouth. At that point, he started talking all types of stuff about having sex with co-stars, and then he said he mentioned something about he had to be talking about Sharon Stone because he's talking about the girl in the movie where she's on top of the dude, and there's a scene in the movie that did not make the cut at all because they couldn't have, because it would have been considered
Basic
like
Instinct then.
Right, Basic Instinct. That didn't make the movie at all because they couldn't, because it would have been like X-rated, where she literally had an orgasm on top of him during that scene or whatever. And now this is Michael Douglas talking to somebody because he's drunk and he's just talking about the movie. So,
in hindsight, maybe he wishes that was him, but really, it was the stunt double guy. That was the day that Michael Douglas called out.
It might have been the guy in the beginning who ended up getting stabbed. You know what I mean? So, but anyhow, back to what Sharon Stone was saying. She was very vague with it, and she said that she did not, when that whole thing about she's not going to sleep with it doesn't make sense. That has nothing to do with making him a better actor. So the first person that jumped into my mind, I didn't think about Seagal, but the first person that jumped in my mind was Billy Baldwin, because unlike Alec Baldwin is a good actor in my opinion. Billy Baldwin not so much. Yeah, not so
Billy
much.
Baldwin, I gotta give credit where credit due. Billy Baldwin, I thought that he was pretty good in Backdraft. I'll give him Backdraft.
I give you Backdraft. But his role, yeah, he was good. He was good in his role.
But look,
he wouldn't have been able to carry Backdraft.
No, and look, most of his scenes. I mean, he's in scenes with Russell, De Niro, even Jennifer Jason Leigh. So like you got quality people that's dragging you up.
Yeah. Oh, you got to. Yeah, you got people that make you up your game up. You know what I mean?
Now, some of the other movies that you made, like Billy Baldwin, you really made that movie Fair Game with Cindy Crawford.
You sure did.
Don't think I forgot about that, man.
Sure did.
No. So no.
And then one other point that she made was the scene with the no underwear, the crotch shot in Basic Instinct. She said that she was actually kind of duped into doing that scene, meaning like it happened and they screened it and she saw it and she was unhappy about that. And because they were she claims that they were telling her that we can't see it. We can't see it. They told her to take off her underwear, which were white, because the white reflects the light. Yeah, they tried to go technical on us. I said, "Oh Lord."
Yeah, but you know something. I remember.
I guess that excuse worked back then.
But you know
something. Come on,
could have changed into black panties.
Right. Exactly. I remember hearing something, and I don't know if this was true. I could have sworn I remember hearing something about when they were shooting Basic Instinct, that there was times that Sharon Stone was walking around naked on set, because that was like during the sex scenes when they were setting up that she walked around naked. I mean, they didn't. I'm guessing that they didn't have the entire production team there. Probably just the people that were needed.
I mean, maybe just for that scene, but we don't know. Maybe she'll address it in her book. I know she talks about, her whole come up in the industry. So anyway, about this point, back to the point with this. So what she said was she witnessed it. They screened it like for the cast or whatever. She was pissed off. She went and called her lawyer. Well, first she went into the projection room and slapped the shit out of Paul Verhoeven.
I could believe that. I could believe that.
Slapped him and kept it moving. So then she went and called her lawyer. Lawyer told her that this does not have to stay in the movie. SAG told her that it's illegal to shoot up actors' dress, and this, that, and the other. So she had a leg to stand on. However, she said, and this was in her own words, not quoting her, but paraphrasing her. She basically said that, well, she got to thinking about it, and she thought she wanted to think from the director's perspective. And whether he got the shot on purpose or by accident, she knows the type of film that she's in, and she knows from this is what I got from what she said. She didn't say this exactly, but she knew how that shot would bring attention to the film. She knew that. So ultimately, if the shot stayed in, she must have decided to let them leave it in because she had all legal right to get it out.
To take it out.
Right. And then she said she also thought about the same guy that she just slapped, Paul Verhoeven. She said, he was one of the only directors that fought for her to get these major roles. Because remember, she worked with him because didn't he direct Total Recall?
Yes, he
directed
did.
that. Yeah. So she
RoboCop.
right, and RoboCop. But she worked with him in Total Recall. And then she works with him again and Basic Instinct. So I think she just slapped him for the sake of, hey, that was fucked up. So she slapped him. But at the end of the day,
why would
she
he be
must
up in a
have
projection room?
Oh, I don't know.
Why would he be up in a production and not in with everybody else? Producers, actors, etc.
So she.
But here's
I think ultimately
my
she decided. I think ultimately she decided that this is going to help the film, and he has helped me. And if they cut it properly, whatever, I'll leave it in. But she was just mad and insulted that they didn't tell her ahead of time that that's what was going to be there. So ultimately, she still landed on the same goal. Like they all ended up in the same spot anyway. She left it in because she made it clear that her lawyer made it clear to her that it could have came out. So,
but here is my thing with just that piece. She's bringing up something that happened back in 1991, movie release 92, and she's talked about this for various different years. At this point, why continue to bring that particular subject up? Because you have put it out there multiple.
I've never heard this. So
no, I've never heard this part of the story. That's the thing. I mean, there's been many.
Sell a book.
Right, she got to sell a book too. There's been many different interpretations of this story from different points of view, from different people's sides. Just like you said you heard that she was walking around set naked. She may have been, just because, you shoot those scenes, it may be a closed set, not too many people in there anyway, and then people see her naked anyway. But the bottom line is, and honestly, from, we always got to throw our little educational moment from a professional standpoint. If that's what the actor does, it shouldn't faze anybody either which way because you're doing a job. It's professional, whatever. So we don't know if she did that for sure, but it's possible. But I've never heard this version of the story that and she said this went on for several movies where the directors would keep. And it's funny how this is what makes it so, to me, like there's truth to it, because what she says match what Dave Chappelle was saying they were doing to him. She was like, they come to her trailer. So you're going to have sex with the guy or not? Are you going to have sex with him? Yeah, she's like, she's sending different people in, different producers. I said, when I was reading that little excerpt, I was like, that reminds me of when Dave Chappelle was saying they were trying to make him put the dress on. He said the projector came in, director, the producer, the writer, all of these people was coming in. Was like, hey, I'm gonna put the dress on. He's like, I'm not putting on the dress. So it's like they do pressure you. They try to pressure you into making this thing happen. So she also, to be honest with you, to be fair, she did not. Maybe she does in the book. She did not specify if she did it or not as well. She just said that they pressured her. She didn't say she did it. Like some people could read it and think that she actually did it, but that's not necessarily true because she just said they pressured her to have sex with her male co-stars. But
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know some people out there are gonna hate me because I'm saying this, but in a minute I'll tell you why. I'm kind of sort of thinking that if she was that time when she was younger in the business, that she probably did, and I'm gonna say why. Right? Look at what happened to Sean Young, right? Sean Young has made it known that she was under pressure from many people in the business to have sex, and because of that, she was like she was supposed to be in Batman, whacked out, right? She was supposed to be in Dick Tracy, whacked out, and after two major films that you could have been in, and you got whacked out, and her career has never been successful. Forget all the stuff about her being an alcoholic and all this stuff. Forget about all that stuff, man. Just based on the industry part. And I'm quite sure that after that, when her career never really recovered, I mean, yeah, she kept working, right? But she really didn't work the way that, like in the 80s, she was in Blade Runner, she's in Wall Street, No Way Out. She was someone that was definitely on a rise.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
So I'm not sitting here discounting Sharon. And Sharon, if you're watching this show, I feel truly horrible that this stuff happened to you, because it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen to anybody in Hollywood. Shouldn't.
Anyone.
Now I do know someone that is a friend of mine's that her father was a talent scout. I mean, I'm sorry, he was a producer. He produced for the old MGM. And at the time, she was becoming an actress. And even she told me she got caught up in the whole casting couch thing. And I was like, is that real? She said it's very real. And how she was in rooms with producers and they were doing all kinds of sex acts, whether it was directly involving her or while she was simply around. And you can guys out there, you can picture what that means. Right. And she said that when she hears actresses talking about the casting couch, it's not something that they're making up. It's something very, very real. And I'm sure they do try to apply that pressure to say, no, we can make you a big star. You're going to be this, this, and this. And in the end, it's none of that stuff. It's just like, we just want to have sex with you. So we're just going to lie to you to get what we want. And then once we get it, we're done with you.
Now, my last bit of investigative thinking was that the producers of Basic Instinct did not ask her, or the director did not ask her to have sex with Michael Douglas off camera. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if that were the case, I don't think she would have had so much, she wouldn't have been so eager to help Paul, the director, by leaving the shot in, because she could have took it out. She could have had it taken out. Right. And the fact that she was willing to help him, because she said specifically, I thought about this director and the things that he's done for me in this business. She said, when I thought about how hard it was to get where I was, even how hard I fought for that particular role and how hard he fought for me. You see what I'm saying? So if she felt like gratitude, she felt like she wanted to help him out, I don't think she would have felt that way if they were the ones that asked her to sleep with Michael Douglas. So that's how I eliminate, from just investigative thinking, that's how I eliminate Michael Douglas from the list. Also because Michael Douglas is a good actor. But so we'll continue this story when the book comes out, because I definitely want to I want to read it, and I want to talk about it. We could come back and talk about it. Hell, I'm gonna reach out to Sharon. She may not answer me, but I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm saying, come on the show, man. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, I like to ask Sharon, so because like I said, you owe me some money for risk.
I'm like, look, I bought this book. I'm not paying for no signature. You better sign my book for free, because I went and saw that goddamn movie, Basic Instinct 2, and which was Jesus Christmas, should have never happened.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. So and then Ralph, he's coming right back. There he is. He's back.
Me popping crap about Sharon Stone. She's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Sharon Stone pulled the plug on you.
But what I was about to say is that Risk Analysis has to be not only one of the worst sequels ever, it is one of the worst movies ever made. To a movie
that's the name. Really that was the
Risk Analysis. It was real risky. Real risky.
It was risky, all right. Yeah, I don't know. And then she did it so much years later. It had nothing to do with it. I don't even want to talk about that. That would ruin the movie.
Thank God there has never been a Basic Instinct 3. Because I don't think nobody would go.
Now I'm gonna tell you this.
Reboot it.
I'm not gonna go in.
Brought it up. I bet you
reboot it.
Anybody think it would reboot it? Yeah, with who? Margot Robbie as that's I watched that. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Myself, my brother, we had a few years ago thought of developing a prequel story to it based on her life before what happens in Basic Instinct, because a lot of stuff happened in her life before that with the parents and all that stuff. So we thought about that, and that's all I'm gonna say, because just putting that out there, somebody gonna probably run with it anyway. But we thought about developing a film like that. That would be interesting, because then you don't have to get Sharon Stone; you can get a younger actress to play the character.
But think about it. Not for nothing, if you reboot it, does Catherine Chamel have to be white? Could she not be black or Latino? Because
of course they could change. Right? If you're gonna reboot it, you can do that. I mean, look what they did with they basically rebooted that Fatale. I'm sorry, that was a reboot of Fatal Attraction. You know what I'm saying? So
with Femme Fatale?
No, Fatale, the one that just came out, the one that had Michael Ealy and Hilary Swank. Yeah. That's basically, because they switch roles. Michael Ealy is, they switch roles basically. No, not really. No, they didn't. He was still the guy that was the husband and cheated on the wife, and except they did a little twist with it by making Hilary Swank's character a cop. But that kind of sucks. But anyway, my point, all of that stuff right there. I think I think that would, that's the only way I would really think, unless they rebooted it. Yeah, it could be a different person, but I don't really, not looking for that. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, AJ, did you get a chance? Did you see with all of the stuff going on? Did you get a chance to catch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Twice.
Yeah, I was looking at it too. It was good.
I needed to watch it again. It was a little hard to follow.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but
I have a problem with Falcon and all this stuff that he's got, all these issues all of a sudden, and
but they did. In all fairness, they did ask a question that we've all had to wonder at some point in time: how do you guys make money? Yeah. How do superheroes make money? Who pays you? You know what I'm saying? And see, now, if you watch The Boys, you don't have to worry about. If you watch the show The Boys, we don't have to worry about that question. They get paid from Vought, the company, and stuff like that. Takes care of them, so they actually have an income.
Well, they technically work for
the government.
The government.
Shield.
Well,
I would say like
this: Shield pays everybody. If they're following orders, they get money from somewhere.
That's what I'm trying to say. Now think about it. Sam is a veteran, but he was a Ranger, so he must be getting something. But he may not be getting nothing big.
What's the name is a spy. I mean, he was a spy, so I'm sure someone paid him.
Well, somebody,
they're getting money from somewhere.
What you call it? Yeah, what you call it was a spy. So I mean, he was.
I'm sure he had. I'm sure he had a couple of bucks stashed away somewhere.
Yeah, he probably robbed somebody and kept money somewhere. But
and now you got cancel culture trying to get rid of Tony Stark in the MCU and
what? Really?
Yeah, dude, they're starting a petition.
You know what?
They want to get rid of Tony Stark for not paying any of these guys. I'm like, they didn't work for him.
You know what?
He did pay for everybody.
I'm sure he gave people money. Like, hey, here's some money.
He paid for everybody. He paid for that whole team. Now, Cat probably had. Cat was probably getting government checks.
But you know what? I actually saw that the other night. I was on Twitter, and some idiot. I'm looking because I responded back to him. Some idiot said, "Where's this thing at?"
I can't.
He basically said that Tony Stark was a piece of crap because he
So he's supposed to take care of everybody?
No.
That's his responsibility?
This guy on Twitter says, just finished the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Tony Stark didn't leave a dime for the remaining Avengers after risking their lives and stuff, but Bruce Wayne saw that Kents were in need of money.
Risking their lives? He lost his life.
Right. and he bought the bank that they were owing. The difference is clear. Batman is superior. So I saw this and I said, wait a minute. Didn't Tony Stark build the Avengers building, design Spider-Man's suit, and created the ability for the Avengers to travel back in time?
Yeah.
Seems to me that Stark was using
He
his money
freaking
for the Avengers when he
discovered
was
time
alive.
travel. He basically discovered time travel so they could go back. Not only did he have to discover time travel for them to get it right, he built the thing for them to navigate through it, right? What else did he do? He freaking sacrificed himself. Anyway,
Yeah.
and he
I don't know.
made
Pepsi
the
going a little
gauntlet. He
overboard.
made the new gauntlet for the stones. What the hell else was he supposed to do? The man gave up his life.
And wait a minute. And every time that Captain America's shield got destroyed, who built him a new one? Tony Stark. Who built the device that was able to beat the Hulkbuster?
So,
I mean, if you want to be technical,
and they're mad because he didn't leave no money to them. Now, one thing that I think becomes, and it's always obviously politics. We know because of the film stuff, red tape, whatever, contracts. Because to me, I look at it like, well, honestly, he should be able to go to like Pepper Potts and be like, hey, I need a loan, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And she could be like, yeah, sure, I'll hook you up or whatever. But you're not going to really, you probably, I don't know, we don't know where this is going. I do think that this show will have more, they will give us the cameos that we wanted in WandaVision. Like, I think you'll see we already saw a cameo from Rhodey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From him. You've already saw Rhodes. We'll see more of those type of cameos in this show. This show's gonna be more action packed. This show's it's gonna be closer.
Started out really great.
It is. It's gonna be more action packed. It's gonna have more of the elements that we're used to seeing from the MCU. WandaVision was a complete left from what we're used to seeing in the MCU, but then they tied it all in together by the time it was over.
Yeah.
But to me, because of the nostalgia factor, I loved WandaVision with all of the things she was doing with the serial, the what's it called? The sitcoms and stuff like that. So, and then it all tied in. This one's going to be more in your face. It started right up in your face. It's going to be like an extension of the MCU, or it is an extension of the MCU. And we're going to see some more people from the movie world cameo in this show. Maybe not a lot, but probably more of the non-super powered people, like maybe Jeremy Renner, or maybe like something like that.
Well, yeah,
I would see Pepper Potts pop up in there somewhere.
You might see Pepper Potts, because they did mention him, and what you said that they were talking about, they mentioned him in the show. Like when he went to get the loan, the guy was like, "So, I mean, how did you get money anyway? Did like Tony Stark pay for everything?"
Yeah.
So I actually did ask that question before. I said, "How do these motherfuckers get money?" And I know a lot of them work for the government, but when think about it, Sam was part of Team Cap that wasn't working for the government. They were running from the government. They were still considered fugitives. Remember, because even in Infinity War, when they came back to the base, Rhodey was there. Like the guy, General Ross was like, arrest them.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. They saved the galaxy. I think, whatever we felt should be forgiven.
Well, now they are, because that's what. Remember, even even the Winter Soldier was getting a pardon in this show. That's part of what his
I like Bucky's character though.
I like his character. Yeah,
Bucky's character was really good. I like everything that he's trying to
do.
Correct, and
he's trying to basically correct his wrongs, right his wrongs. But there's a story that's obviously
that's a messed up dude.
Yeah,
that's a messed up dude.
Oh, Bucky.
Bucky's messed up.
Yeah, he is messed up, man. Because he done some stuff. I mean, think about it. He killed Tony Stark's parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he don't remember doing it, and he actually does remember doing it. He just couldn't control himself.
Just can control himself.
Yeah, he just couldn't control himself. But then that is really to be honest with you, you're right, AJ. That is some deep stuff, man. They can really go deep with this
They
character.
can go deep on
because
that
he
guy.
can
That
be
dude
a
is
very
messed up.
tormented character. He could be a tormented
totally.
character.
I mean, that Shrink, I don't know. I mean, I don't approve of the Shrink.
Jason from Heroes to Icon said Cap was paid by Shield. Yeah, I believe that. I think Cap and of course Jeremy Renner's character and
Yeah, I think they're all
Black
paid by
Widow.
Shield.
They're all Shield agents, so they got money from them. I still don't know where the hell Rhodey getting. I mean, not Rhodey. I mean, Sam. It's like you said, but now with
he was like dead for 5 years, so yeah, he's not gonna have any income.
Exactly, he was gone. He was blipped out. So and I never liked the name the blip. I always liked the snap. To me, it was a snap. He was snapped away. That's the way I like.
The snap sound. It sounds cleaner. The
snap
the
sounds
blip, like,
sounds cool. They're like, oh, the blip. I'm like, the blip. Oh, blip, like a blip on the screen. Nah, he was snapped away. You know what I mean? And yeah. So he's born for 5 years. So where's his income? He's back now, and this that. Yeah. So that's
Well, yeah. I got a question. I got a question. Right. For all the characters that actually did get snapped, right? That was still on the clock. Like, don't y'all owe them like some overtime or something? Because they're still on the clock.
I'm sure there's some back pay out there.
There's got to be some back pay out there.
Back pay, bonuses.
Peter Parker had to go back to high school when he came back. So
exactly,
if you was at a job and you get snapped away, you come back. You should still have that job. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That job should still be yours. It's like FMLA. It's like the FMLA at a job. That gives you the right to, take off. You can have family leave and still have a job to come back to.
Exactly, because once again, it's an act of God. Most guys got in like an act of God clause.
Yeah.
And Thanos was considered on the level of a god, and he snapped his finger. So, frankly,
yeah,
act of God. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. I think the show is gonna be good. I think it's starting off good. It should be a good show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I'm definitely dig into it more. So now, of course, we get to the meat and potatoes of the evening.
Wait, before you go anywhere, did you guys see Batman Dying Is Easy?
I knew you was going to ask me that. No, I did not. I still didn't see it, and I was going to get off when I got the phone.
I'm not going to give you anything to watch anymore. You don't watch anything.
I liked it. I reached out to because I was watching it, and I reached out to the girl that played for Hot Second Poison Ivy. She's a Marfrey Cam's model. She's a cam model. So I reached out to her, but I was thoroughly impressed with it. Like, wow, man. I mean. The only thing
story.
Yes, he did.
That Batman, they got that Conroy dude. That guy is a beast.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling Michael Madsen too much. It was like it's the same shtick with him. Like this the same guy.
Know, Michael Madsen's funny. I'm not surprised seeing him.
I was surprised to see him, but it's like you didn't do anything different than I haven't seen in Kill Bill. Sin City, so on. It's like, come on, guy, give me something different.
Michael Madsen.
But for the production value, I thought it was awesome. I was like, wow.
Yeah. You like the other cameos?
I know Madsen. I mean, I know you got someone that originally I thought the Joker, from the way he was sounding, I thought that was Mark Hamill. It's not Mark Hamill, but when I was talking, it sounded like Mark Hamill. I was like, "Oh, damn, Mark Hamill's in this."
God, hold on, I forgot the.
Who else cameoed in there?
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because my mind just went blank thinking about it. Hold on. What else did you like while I do this?
I liked the story. I liked how. How Batman, he said and like other things, like he's always on that edge. And for a hot second, it looked like he's about to go over the edge. And he was just about to say, you know what? I just need to kill you and get this whole thing over with.
Casper Van Dien. He played James Gordon. Doug Jones. played the Riddler. Chris Daughtry played Hugo Strange. Chris Daughtry's a rock star.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
The country
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
You know,
hey, Maddie, thanks for joining us, Maddie. We
I didn't get
appreciate
Casper
you.
playing theme. I mean, I'm maybe it's me, but that's always gonna be Rico. I don't care what. It's just Rico.
Well, Rico played James Gordon. He did a good job. And Hugo Strange, Chris Daughtry playing Hugo Strange, I was blown away. He did really good. You would not know anything, Wes, because you're not watching any of this stuff.
No, I haven't. I got school, bro.
But it was very good. I
watched the movie 5 times. You watched Justice League 5 times.
I sure did.
You couldn't spend 22 minutes.
Yeah, 22 minutes. Yeah,
22 minutes. No, I'm sorry, 23 minutes on this. Come on, Shane.
Yeah. Shame on me. You know me. I'm gonna watch it though.
Okay,
I'm gonna get it going.
you keep losing cool points like every week, one reason or another.
Speaking of Batman, segue. We have the
wait. Hold on.
No, they ain't no holding that.
Wait. I got one more question before we get to Justice League. We got to talk about another guy. What do you think of the rumor going around of Nolan directing a Marvel movie?
Of Nolan directing a Marvel movie?
The rumor about that.
I heard this the other day. There's a rumor floating around that Christopher Nolan is interested in doing a Marvel movie.
I think it's just that. I don't think he would be interested in doing a Marvel movie only because he doesn't really like the whole fantasy factor. It has to be somebody that it have to be a character that could be realistic type. You know
Agreed.
What I'm saying?
However, what English do is that the fact that he's still kind of pissed with what Warner Brothers did, that they put their entire 2021 slate onto HBO Max. And now the fan pundit was saying that this is Marvel's way of getting back at DC for what they did with James Gunn. Like when they fired James Gunn, DC was quick to get at him.
Yeah.
So now, if Nolan is truly dissatisfied with Warner, because all his movies have been on Warner Brothers. You know, so now Marvel gets his chance to take.
I mean, if he's just doing it to spite them, then I guess I could see it happening. But it all depends on what he wants to do, what he wants to create, and what type of film you're going to give him. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's not going to have his, coming from a comic book fan and a fan of comic book movies, if he ain't going to have his heart into it and really do, because he was able to do what he did with Batman and get away with it. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't go, he did some referencing to the source material, but not a lot, not all. And but if he was able to pull it off and do it right. But now you got to find a character in Marvel, which are mostly all superpowered characters, most of them.
Except one. The only one I could think of is one that he could actually do, which was still keep him ground in reality quite a bit. Spider-Man. What if they brought him?
Spider-Man's superpowered.
No. Spider-Man very well. He is superpowered because of bite. However, he is not on the level of a Spider-Man. And realistically speaking, Spider-Man, beyond his spider senses, strength, speed, he flies through the air. What are Batman's? Strength, speed, and he flies through the air.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's way stronger than Batman.
He's way stronger.
He's way stronger. Spider-Man can lift a car over his head.
Understandable. He is
and
way
he can heal faster.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he is not to the length of a Superman that the way he could lift up an entire continent and crap with it. He's not on that level. He's not flying through the air where he has to create his own gravity. So could Nolan generally take the character Spider-Man, keep it grounded to some sense of reality?
Nope. I would say no. I'm going to agree with Jason on this one from Heroes to Icon. Yeah, exactly. He said there is nothing for Nolan in the Marvel Universe. I don't think so either. Only because, like we just said, DC has several characters that don't have powers that he could fool around with. But Marvel has not many, not many at all. You're talking about characters we've already seen, like Hawkeye, stuff like that, who don't have no superpowers. And I think the rumor is just to piss DC off. I don't think it's really gonna happen. But I think it's just really that a rumor that's just to kind of piss DC off because DC, makes dumb decisions that they make.
Oh,
With
like
that
today?
being, like today, because
they killed the Snyderverse.
The Snyderverse, yeah, we'll talk about that too. So Zack Snyder's Justice League premiered. I got a chance to see it early because I won't reveal my source, but I didn't just see it on Thursday. So from Thursday over the weekend, I've seen it 5 times.
And still couldn't take 23 minutes.
I couldn't. I was too
You
busy
could not
watching
take 23 minutes to watch the other one.
I know I couldn't. And then I had to get the Winter Falcon, Winter Soldier in there too. I watched the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know, somewhere in between all of that, but I watched it. I watched it 1.5 times. So it's been getting good reviews. It's been getting good responses. Of course you're gonna have your haters. You can't please everybody.
It's the highest rated movie for Zack Snyder on Rotten Tomatoes. So audience rating, it got a 96, and critic rating 72.
72,
which is higher than 300, which is the highest critic movie that he's ever had. So it's a winner on all fronts.
No, it is. It's a win on all fronts, and as you mentioned, and we'll go into more deeper about it after we go through this portion of it. Talk about the future of the DCEU. Or in the Snyderverse. Snyderverse has no future, according to the chairman.
No, they're gonna go whatever they want to do. They just went dumb.
Once again, another latte drinking.
Yeah, she's a newly appointed, kind of like newly appointed. What is she? The CEO or the chairman?
President
of Warner Media
division. Yeah.
Of the theatrical division. So
she killed all the rumors.
She killed all the rumors. She answered. She said that no, they will not. They're happy that they released this night. But something I read in there though that I knew it was BS because she wants to try to reinforce. Obviously, she represents Warner Brothers, so she wants to try to reinforce to the fans that it was their decision.
The fans don't run Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers runs Warner Brothers.
Right. That's what they.
And they have a much wider audience than the DC fans. I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?"
That's basically what she was saying. She was like, the fans don't run it because they asked her, like, "Hey, you got the Snyder cut because of the fans. Will we see other things? People talk about the Ayer cut and this and that." And she's like, "We're not gonna see no Ayer cut."
She has a lot of animosity
against fans. I don't want to see an Ayer cut.
Yeah, no, but it's just the point.
He has no respect for the fans, and I think that they were forced into doing this. And
they were
by AT&T.
Yeah, and I had an article about
they're not happy that they did it.
AT&T forced their hand on this, and they did not want to do this. And now that they're making these statements, the only way this is going to change is if AT&T steps in again, which means they would probably have to demote or fire her. Which they're not going to do. Which they're not going to do. They're not going to do that. So, more than likely we won't have a Snyderverse. But let's talk about the film.
Well, let me ask a question. If this was now on HBO Max, and this went to this was on HBO Max, went to the movie theaters, and it opened up this weekend to, let's say, $210 million. Don't you think Warner Brothers' stance would change a whole lot?
Possibly, but I mean, the bottom line is I think they want to move past it because they got so much bad blood wrapped up into this whole thing from what they did to Snyder. Because the bottom line is to bring Snyder back, they're gonna have to kiss his butt. What I'm saying? They should. No, which they should. But I'm just saying they don't want to do that. And then, of course, the whole thing with Fisher, she tried to play it off like, oh, yeah, we even offered him a role in the Flash movie. She tried to make it seem like they, everything that he's saying that, they treated him and this and the other is false. Because she said, oh, we had an investigator come in because we're really concerned with making sure everyone is treated fairly. And the investigator came back and said that, nothing was wrong. Nothing was done wrong. Joss Whedon cutting him out the film was not done was not racially motivated and stuff like that, right?
He just wanted to make them lighter skinned. But check this out. So as of yesterday, Justice League was like the biggest stream movie around the world, 25 countries.
Right.
Just now, about 2 hours released on Friday, Justice League beat out the Winter Soldier,
right,
by 1.8 million to 1.7 views to 1.8 million for Justice League.
Okay,
so it beat Marvel.
Yeah, for once. And I have that's what I said. I got so much to unpack. I got to bring up what I think about the reason why. One of the reasons, other than Warner Brothers' stupid executives, one of the reasons why the DC universe is so far behind Marvel because they just don't follow their instinct. They don't decide to just be themselves. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So there's the Snyder League. So what I want to talk about with the Snyder League, the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So there is the film there, brought back all of the different storylines. So one thing I do want to talk about is we have to talk about the 2017 version versus the 2021 version. Justice League versus Zack Snyder's. These are some of the This is just some of the differences. Now, obviously, Joss Whedon they recolored the entire film for whatever reason. Why he added all of this?
It was too damn dark. It was too damn dark. That's why.
It was too dark for them. But so he added all the. So why? I don't know why he decided to turn all of this red instead of just keeping it the way it is. It doesn't really lighten it up too much by adding the red. It adds a little bit, but to me, the red makes it look more cheesy. Not cheesy, but cheesy. I guess I don't know. It just doesn't look as
cartoonish.
It look as cool. Yeah,
it looks cartoonish.
It looks exactly cartoonish. Thank you. And then speaking of cartoonish, look what they did with Steppenwolf. So now, yes, they decide to make him. We got to make him a little less scary, because you saw that first image of Steppenwolf from back in the day, and they were like, "Oh, he's really scary looking." So let's make him less. This dude looks like a generic ass villain. He doesn't look. Yeah. Now this is a villain. I'm saying, look at him.
He looks like Shredder.
You know what I'm saying?
He looks like the Shredder.
Got the spikes and all that. So I mean, there's some things I want to point. So obviously, the biggest difference, the beginning of the film. Joss Whedon came right out the gate and wanted to show you that this film is going to be a more lighthearted film. So he starts the film with some humor and things like that, right? And then you have this guy, you have this debacle. He brings back for the reshoots Superman with the super upper lip and the digitally removed mustache. Terrible, just absolutely terrible. That whole sequence is gone, thank God. Whereas obviously Snyder opens it up as a direct continuation from Batman vs Superman, showing you what when you had see another thing. Zack did this with in mind that the people were paying attention and they were watching the other films, because you think about Lex Luthor saying at the end of Batman vs Superman, the bell has been rung, and what's the bell has been rung? Well, you're about to see what the bell was when you watch this. Superman, when he dies, lets out this last dying cry, and it is heard around the world. You know what I mean? Everywhere. And the mother boxes kind of sensed when he died, and now there was no more real protection.
No more Kryptonian.
No more Kryptonian. No more protection for the Earth like that. Everyone knows he's the strongest being there. So that right out the gate. Then once again, we talk about Steppenwolf. This dude looks like an old man. Like, I don't know what they were doing with this guy. It's like some old man dude. He looks like a monster. Like what my man Jay said. He looks like a monster. You know, like he looks great. This dude looks like an old, you know, he should be starring in the next Grumpy Old Man.
Well, they made him so humanoid that it didn't make him scary, you know?
They didn't make him scary, yeah. So they have him there. So that's a big difference.
It looks like a bad cosplay. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, another difference, obviously, was the Amazons, the way they were portrayed in this one, in the Zack Snyder one, you know, just more just down to business, more warriors like they should have been shown. Whereas they were kind of handled pretty easily in Joss's version. First of all, Steppenwolf just appears, and you know, no real build up to him appearing. Whereas this one, when the mother box activated, you know, it took a little bit for him to get there. He didn't get there right away. You know what I'm saying? So, like, activated, they all, oh, tell us, man. You can see that. Another thing that Joss did was, you know, cut out the another character of colors and stuff like that wasn't really featured in there.
Yeah,
whereas
you had a few lines.
Yeah. So she was featured in this in Zack Snyder's one, you know. Had a couple of lines. She had the part where when Mother Box just came on. And so that was another big difference. Wonder Woman, another big difference. Not tons of big differences. Gal Gadot was just ecstatic that Zack Snyder, that her real Wonder Woman was restored in this Zack Snyder film. You know, couple things that Joss Whedon did with Wonder Woman that was just out of line, in my opinion. Number one, the scene at the bank. Okay, it was shortened. Wasn't shortened too much. Didn't want to really, you know, or whatever. But you know, a lot of stuff. It did miss a couple things. Of course, he took out the part with her stopping guy, blowing him through. I love
that.
They took that out because you know we can't have Wonder Woman kill anybody. You know, so that's why they took it out because you got people out there, the same people that are trying to cancel Pepe Le Pew and all that other stuff. These are the same people that complain about Wonder Woman doesn't kill. We can't have her kill anybody. So that's what's going to happen. Same ones that say Batman doesn't kill. We can't have Batman kill anybody. He has a code. He doesn't. Okay, so
he's a vigilante. Vigilantes don't have no damn code.
So
did you all you idiots have did you or did you not see Death Wish? He's a vigilante.
He's a Death Wish. Not the version with
no, the real version. Not the Warren Bronson. Not
the Bruce Willis.
Trying to be John McClane.
Forget about that
in a different series again. No, not
but
that.
Anyway, so about Wonder Woman. Another thing he did that was really crazy was how he changed her, the way she even acted from her lines and which he kind of put in this you know, well this is from the Snyder cut. He put in this is from Whedon's cut. He puts in this whole thing where she's like, you know, she like clearly has kind of like a little thing for Batman, right? Which came out of nowhere. You're just like, wait a minute, like what? You know, like of course when they first met in Batman vs Superman, you know, they had a couple little.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
but just got this. Justice League has made HBO Max $650 million already.
Wow.
And new viewers.
Wow. $650 million in new viewers. That is awesome. All right. Wish I had my applause button. Woo! So this whole thing with him was just so stupid that he tried to explore. Now, Batman vs Superman, they had a couple little, when they first met, they had a couple of flirty moments with each other, but it was really more like cat and mouse thing. You know, it wasn't really like flirting. It was kind of like trying to size each other up. You know, like, who is this? She beautiful, but she up to something. What's up with this chick? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it was. Whereas this is like, oh, now she's freaking goddamn near massaging him here and, you know, helping him pop his shoulder back.
He's like, come on, baby. You know, you ain't been touching over 100 years. it's time to knock the cobwebs
She hooked
off.
up with everybody, though. I mean, she right here, she hooked up with Batman.
Well, yeah, no, I know, right? But my point is, it came out of nowhere. It was forced, and how you gonna even throw that in a 2-hour movie anyway, or a movie that was a little bit less than 2 hours? You throw this whole factor in.
AJ, I agree with you. I mean, didn't Batman get on with Batgirl and the Killing Joke and stuff where he got it on with Poison Ivy
and then he dumped her. Didn't even call her back the next day.
Yeah,
he sure didn't.
Didn't even say thank you. He just said, "See."
That was it.
See
on the rooftop, not even a.
But it just really the Wonder Woman thing came out of nowhere. I mean, it wasn't really necessary to put in there. They also kind of made it where she was really kind of just like the woman putting up with all of these men in his version. You know what I mean? So
she works with children.
Yeah. All right, work with children, like a stupid ass line. So obviously, they expanded Barry and Cyborg's stories tremendously.
Much better characters.
Yeah, much better.
Barry was not an idiot.
Joss Whedon had Barry as just this immature idiot type of dude who, he was smart, but he's just like he's so nerdy to the point where, and he has that line in Joss Whedon's version where he's like, I this is not my thing. I usually just push people and run away. Like, dude, Barry Allen is mad powerful. And let's not forget, Justice League. They were doing it backwards, like from Marvel. These people have already had time to sit with the exception of Cyborg, because we saw his progression. But Barry Allen has already been able to sit with his powers, and he knows what he can do. You know what I'm saying?
In the background.
Yeah. And he knows what he can do. So, that was stupid. That was good to see that.
Wait, I have not seen it yet because I've just been so caught up with this weekend. But and I guess this is not what. Did they change?
You haven't seen Justice League, Ralph?
I've been busy the entire weekend. I've had to make time to do the show. It's been a hell of a
You
weekend.
actually worked? No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm like, how dare you? No.
But did they change Flash because I thought in Justice League he was kind of a punk. Kind of sheepish. Like, did they change that where now he's more good?
Yes,
good
he's definitely contributed.
No,
as
he's
a matter of fact,
smart.
He's freaking.
He's not an idiot.
He's really, between him and Cyborg, they save the world.
They saved the day
single-handedly. Those two together. I mean, they all did it together as a team.
Stupid dialogue. I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, the stupid banter and dialogue that he had. Like I said, they had him say, I usually just push people and run out of the way. Like, what? He doesn't do it. So they explored his powers in this. Here's some side-by-side shots of the coloring and shots and stuff like that. Some same shots, from Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder's version. Batman also was back to Batman. He wasn't like Batman in the Joss Whedon version felt like he was just kind of standing around, wasn't much of a contributor because he's not a powered, super powered person. And they made him out to be like this Superman groupie.
And he got rid of the stupid one-liners like, I didn't bring a pitchfork, or, I didn't bring a sword. Every time he brought out a toy.
I didn't bring a sword. Like,
they got rid of all that stupid one-liners, like trying to put down the other characters.
Oh yeah, the Schwarzenegger. Yeah, just like so you're an author, huh? I hear you talk to fish.
I was so happy about that.
Yeah, they took that. They took that out. They took out the part where he says some other stupid one-liner. It's just like, here's some more comparisons: the reshoots, the originals, original reshoots. There's Barry again. There's that. Also, notice Joss Whedon he made sure they had smiles on their faces. He's like trying to make them smile more, Smile a little bit. You're Wonder Woman. Smile. Yeah. You're Superman. Smile. So it's like, you see that there. You know, even Aquaman kind of looks the same. Even Bruce doesn't look as intense in this shot as he does in this one. He looks more focused here, more intense. In this one, he's just like, you know, just it's just ridiculous, man, how they did it.
Well, in that image that you just showed of Bruce of him as Bruce Wayne, could you go back to that for a second?
Which one?
The reshoot. Because I'm looking.
He's smiling here too. Now, what is the hell is he got to have a smirk on for? He's recruiting the Justice League. This is from Joss Whedon's version.
Oh, okay. So the ones that say reshoots are the Whedon versions.
Yes, because remember, let's remember, Zack Snyder had already shot all this footage. The original is Snyder's version.
Okay, all right.
The reshoots.
Because I was about to say I thought the reshoot because I said in that reshoot looks like that Affleck has a beard, and in the original he's.
No, he has a beard, and in this one he has a beard in both. And here, but as you see, this is when he goes to visit Barry Allen. Same scene happens, but you see in the reshoot, look at his face there. He's like smiling, almost smirking. He ain't got no smirk here because there's nothing to smirk about. He's trying to recruit his team. You know what I'm saying? So like Joss Whedon, when they said turn on the lights, he literally said, "Okay, we're going to turn on the lights. We got to make sure everybody start, smiling more, being more super heroic. Look how she's standing. Look her posture, how she's standing. She's smiling. She's very superish. You know what I mean? Like this is what they. So just like I'm telling you, just like what they've said. You said it, AJ. Other people have said it too. A lot of critics have said it. Like this is like going to film school. Honestly, watching these two films is like going to film school, and what the difference between them, and what really works, what really doesn't work, how to let a film breathe, how let a character develop instead of just rushing and whatever. This is Iris West. The character was completely cut out of the theatrical cut, where this is Barry Allen's love interest eventually. This is where they first just meet in here. She only has this one scene where she meets him, but it's a really good scene. You know what I'm saying? Where he saves her, he saves her life, and you show how fast, shows how fast Barry is with the whole slow motion thing. So you got it. That's there when they first bumped into each other in the scene. Completely cut out. Speaking of getting cut out. His whole story arc was cut out of the theatrical version.
Oh, dude. You know what I loved at the end? They didn't make him look like Iron Man.
Right. Exactly. This dude,
made him look like
they went into it like this, Robin. I tell you this, I know you gotta watch it, but basically they explain how powerful Cyborg is. When you realize how powerful
he's really powerful.
He's really like a god in his of tech. Like in his own realm, and his realm is tech. He can talk to tech. Anything that's technology, he can literally talk to it and understand it, and like a machine, like how machines talk to each other. So he can, and that's just the tip of his limits. He can do other things because remember he was created with a mother box. A mother box. Technology from the mother box went into creating him, saving his life. And you actually get a chance to see how he became this way and why.
I love that. I love that scene.
You get the
I was like, oh wow, okay.
Character development. There you go.
Yep. And then that's part of his character development right there. There's a very cool scene.
He's a football player?
Yeah, see, there you go. Now you get this is all stuff you're gonna learn.
It's the same stadium that was there for Christopher Nolan's football scene.
Yeah.
In Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, it's Heinz Stadium?
It's the same stadium. I was like, oh look, they're reusing the same stadium. It's pretty funny.
He's playing for I guess Gotham City or whatever, Gotham City U. And then let's see. What is Jason says here? Barry scenes with Iris really gave him life. Cyborg's whole story was crazy. Exactly. The thing is, Ralph, when you watch this, it's like Barry. And I can't say that Snyder, like, what my be saying Snyder gave this to these people would lead people to believe that Snyder didn't always do that from the beginning. It was that way from the beginning. It's more or less like Joss took this away. You know what I mean?
Wait. Now, I was talking about this earlier with a friend of mine, and I'm going to say this, and this is not a defense of Warner Brothers, because most of you out there know how I feel about the people that run Warner Brothers. However, I think with that statement, you have to really sit back and say, you're seeing this version of Justice League, but you're seeing it 3 years later, where now you've had a chance to go back and see what worked and what you already shot that possibly wouldn't work, and you had the rarest opportunity to go back and fix and enhance certain things. That's the only thing that I'm going to say about that. That I can't sit there and say for 100%, like this scene that you see right here with him in the football stadium, that was in the original version of Snyder's movie.
I can tell you that 100%. It was in there. Wait.
The only person that can legitimately say that is Snyder himself.
And he has confirmed all of that. I want to let you understand this. Zack Snyder only shot. He didn't shoot anything new. This stuff was shot. He only shot some.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Yes. Right, that he already shot this stuff.
And I'm gonna tell you another reason why it was there. Because if you go back to the original campaign, this was in the trailer. This scene was in one of the trailers, one of the original trailers.
I don't.
So it was always there.
It was always there.
All right, but what I'm saying is, from what I'm understanding, this version of Justice League is something totally new. And once again, this is not a defense of Warner Brothers, because I'm not with Warner Brothers on this aspect. Right.
No.
What I'm simply saying is that you also got to take in hand. Then now you're seeing, I got the chance to go back and fix up what was done, but it is 3 years later where I can sit back and play Monday morning quarterback, and it's probably going to be the only time you're ever going to see this happen. When now I really get the chance to play Monday morning quarterback, and I can go back and fix things, enhance things, or expand upon certain things. Right. Yeah. No other director has ever had that opportunity
but here's
before.
The
not
thing,
even Spielberg.
Ralph, here's the thing, though. He never saw the other version.
He never saw the other version.
He never saw it. So there's nothing for him about the quarterback.
I mean, you can say you don't believe that, and like I said, you have to.
Dude,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Ralph. You need to watch this before you even really think. Because I said the same thing before I watched this. I said I can't believe he didn't watch it, but after watching this, I'm like, I believe him. He didn't watch it because number one, this is the thing, and another thing. Let's explain to the people out there. The people need to understand. You can take, as a filmmaker, as an editor, I promise you, you can take someone's exact footage and tell a different story with it. It doesn't mean because he cut so much out of this, he was able, and then it was Whedon that did all the reshoots.
He did all the reshoots.
So that's what makes it. So what I'm trying to say to you, Ralph, is Zack did not have to go and change much. He's just putting out his original vision. The person who did the changing was Joss Whedon.
I know all that stuff, but all I'm sitting there and like once again, this is not defense of Warner Brothers, but realistically, and no, I'm sorry, I don't believe that Snyder never looked at the original Justice League.
He didn't want to.
I've seen many actors.
It was so bad. It was such a butchering of his vision. What was the point of looking at it?
Because
there was nothing he did. He didn't learn anything from that. Why would he look at it? There's nothing he did in this film.
He learned the most important thing: what worked, what didn't work.
No. He didn't learn that. No,
you're like,
Ralph.
You need to watch the movie because you're arguing something that doesn't exist.
I'm only saying this because I have seen many actors when they've done interviews said or especially when they did a sequel or who say, well, I've never watched the original one. Like Kevin, since we have this on screen, like for example, when Kevin Spacey did Lex Luthor, he sat there on Entertainment Tonight's couch and said, "I have never seen the original Supermans with Gene Hackman. That's bull. That's bull. You have." You may not remember, but you have seen it. And there's a lot of that said that I've never seen my work. How can you possibly grow as an actor if you don't go and look at what you have already done? Now, I'm not sitting there saying that this is the same thing for Snyder's case. I'm not sitting there.
It's not in his case because that wasn't his work. That was.
What I'm saying is that I don't believe on 100 stack of Bibles that he did. Even if he didn't look at the entire film, he saw some parts of it.
I believe it. 100%.
No,
because
he never saw it.
Because this film, like I said, he put this is stuff that he really just put out what he already had did. The only thing that Zack Snyder added to the film had nothing to do with the footage that was already there. This is all post production and all stuff that was done in what is considered an epilogue. The film is laid out in 6 chapters, and an epilogue.
And so, a prologue, right? Isn't there also a prologue?
No, not really. The beginning is really just like when they show Superman getting killed again from
different angles. It was really bloody and
point of view, stuff like that. So
Superman bleeds.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you bleed? I guess so. So,
like I said, I'm not defending Warner Brothers, and I'm not doubting. Except the part he said he didn't watch it. That part I got a little. Perhaps he did, not all, a little bit. But all I'm sitting and saying is that Zack Snyder's got himself in a position where he was able to be the real Monday morning quarterback. Where you had the
you're totally off, dude.
He had nothing to watch. That's what I'm saying. Monday morning quarterback.
Wait. Hold it.
If Tom Brady is watching Joe Schmo playing quarterback, he ain't learning nothing.
Wes, hold on a second. When I'm sitting there using the term Monday morning quarterback, it's because now you're a director, but when you put your final film out there when it's in the can, normally you don't have the chance to go back and whatever you took out, you don't have the chance to go back and do it again, to re-put it back in, unless it's like a director's cut. Most directors have never really done that. You have, but even the director's cut is like at best maybe 25 minutes extra footage. This man has put in what? An hour plus.
He didn't put anything in, Ralph. It was always there.
No. Here's what you keep saying. You
were not listening. But you were not listening to what I'm saying here. What I said was that as a director, when you have your film finished, right? You submit it and it's getting ready to release. The release version is the version that everybody sees. Now, some directors have gone back in time when it comes to DVD or something and done a director's cut. Generally, when you've done a director's cut, it's like 20, 25 minutes of extra footage, right? Or footage that was cut out for time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Snyder had the chance to go back and everything that he probably would have took out.
It was meant to be this long.
That's what I'm getting to.
Mm-hmm.
But Warner Brothers
and he always shot it all.
Yeah, it was I
understand all this. What I'm saying is that most directors never had the chance to go back and put this type of version back out there. They never had.
Comparing apples to bananas right now.
Right. What I'm trying to say to you is this: when you keep saying he had a chance to go back and put back, he didn't put anything back. This was there already. Josh Whedon took it away. Right?
I understand all that stuff.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to explain to you is this: the way you're looking at it is as if it was like a director's cut versus a theatrical cut. It's not that. The theatrical version was not Zack Snyder's movie.
This is Zack Snyder's movie, right? This is Zack Snyder's movie. But that's exactly what I'm saying. All directors, and as a director, as someone in Hollywood, you can tell me if let me finish before you guys say anything, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you as a director and you in the film industry, most directors, when their film is done, most of them have to take things out for time's sake, right? When the movie comes out on the big screen, that is the version that they were, I guess, contractually obligated to bring it into that time frame, right? Mm-hmm. So when the movie comes to, like, say, DVD or another format, some directors have put back in that footage that they had to take out for time's sake. They put it back in there. Generally, it's like 20, 25 minutes, right? Snyder had the ability to put everything he wanted back into this movie. Every single thing. No other director has truly ever done that once before. I guess maybe the person who say is somewhat closest is maybe George Lucas when he went back and he changed.
Maybe Richard Donner.
Maybe Richard Donner, but even with
Donner, they called it the Donner cut. It was,
but
different.
Yeah, but it's complete.
So maybe Donner.
I was really going to say Lucas because Lucas went back and they re-released Star Wars. He was able to change certain things, but even with him changing certain things, he didn't dump a whole lot of brand new footage into any of the Star Wars, like 10, 15 minutes at max.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there, Ralph. What you're saying again is wrong. He's not dumping brand new footage into anything. This footage is old. This footage is older than the footage that we saw in the theatrical version. How many times that was the reshoots? That was the
how many times have I got to keep saying that? What I didn't.
But it's the way you're phrasing it, Ralph. It's not. You're not phrasing it properly because he's not putting anything back. It's always been there.
But that is what the first thing I just said.
No,
the only reason
he's the morning quarterback, Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah,
right. I do, but
it's not the same. It doesn't fit this situation.
But that's the only term that I can legitimately think of because this is a very unique situation.
It is
where he had the ability to go back and put out the version that he wanted. He put out his vision.
His version of it.
No other director in history has been able to do that.
No, I get that. I get that.
That's why I said this is a very unique situation. Even Spielberg, Lean, Hitchcock, all these guys, all these great directors, nobody has ever been able to do that. To say, hey, this is the version I shot. Mm-hmm. This is the version that you guys put out, which was totally different than what I want to do. So we're going to give you the opportunity to put out your version so that you can get the public what they want to see. Nobody has ever been able to do that until this.
And he can thank the fans for that. For really, put, and he has dedicated this whole thing. Other than dedicating the film to his daughter, of course, but he's dedicated this whole thing to the fans because it's for the fans, right?
Agreed.
So that's fine. But so I'm not shooting down what you're saying. What I want you to do is watch it because what I'm trying to explain to you is that. The reason why I did all the way up until the point of seeing this film, I thought that it's possible he could have watched this, and of course anything's possible that he watched the theatrical cut. But I believe him now after watching this because the thing is this, they took the version that was there, took footage that they had, reshot a lot of footage, and told their own story. So he just took that. So it's not a case like you said. It's a unique case. It's not a case of director's cut versus theatrical cut because that case the director pretty much signed off on what went into the theater. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this is what happened, this is what it is. He's pushing it, he's promoting it, whatever. But now if you want to see my cut, this is what normally the director's cut isn't that far different from what you've seen in the theater, like you said, cut down for time. But that scenario doesn't fit this. That situation doesn't fit this scenario. So what I'm saying is to respond to the Monday morning quarterback thing, where you thinking that he had a chance to go and look at Whedon's version, see what was wrong, and then fix that in this version. No. That is not the case with this. I'm not even
sitting there saying that he looked specific to this. When I'm saying he looked at things, I think now you've had the chance to look back at not only Justice League, but the films that came after it also. Right? Let's be very clear about that.
Right. And you'll know when you watch it that has no effect on this film. Because I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm stopping you.
You're discussing something without watching it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm stopping you, because what you're saying doesn't match this situation. Because what you're going to notice is Mira and you had what's her name, Amber Heard, and what's the other guy's name from Aquaman. They were in this film, okay, playing their characters from Aquaman. This film obviously was made before Aquaman. So you'll notice some differences. It's not done the exact way that James Wan did it in Aquaman. He bounced off of it, but he did some things different in Aquaman. So
and all those
that
directors
has
who were kind of working together.
Snyder
So
seeing Aquaman has nothing to do with what you see in this with Aquaman, Atlantis, and everything. That's why I'm stopping you. I'm not being rude. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just stopping you because what you're saying does not fit with this. Him seeing those other movies have no, especially with Wonder Woman. Him seeing those movies has nothing to do with how she was portrayed.
All right, I'm gonna hold off on that statement. I mean that's what I personally think, because I mean and that's just me as a fan. If I had the chance to go back and really put my version out there, I would like to see everything else that came after what was butchered from Jump Street, right? And also with the fans, I'm quite sure he's listening to fans that say, hey, you know, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'm quite sure he's listened to not just seeing the movie. I'm quite sure he's seen and heard all this stuff and said, hey, wait a minute.
I'm sure he heard all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that, but just because he heard that stuff and probably agreed with it, that doesn't mean that his version wasn't right from the beginning. He didn't have to go back.
I'm not debating that at all.
Yeah.
I am not
the only thing he
all.
really had to do, and this was when, you know, way back when we talked about this on the Kevin Smith show, when the person saw, someone was on Kevin Smith's show, and she actually saw a test screening of Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. She was the one, that was one of the first people who confirmed Darkseid was in this movie, because she said it, but the CGI wasn't done yet. She said, yeah, he's in the movie.
Yeah,
but the CGI
wasn't done. I mean, I've heard that the CGI
so she was
wasn't
like,
done, that it wasn't scored.
And she said back then, completely different movie. That's what she was saying. She was like, but what I saw, that wasn't what I saw that they released. She was like, I saw in that.
But I agree with that, and that's why I'm saying, because that's the only phrase. The Monday morning quarterback is the only phrase I can legitimately think of to try to put some sort of statement to what this is. It's not me saying that okay, yeah, he had a version, he went and changed it, or he did all these reshoots. I'm not saying none of that stuff. But the Monday morning quarterback is the only thing I could legitimately say that he had the chance to do, right? Because, and once again, as a filmmaker, I'm sure, take that out. I'm sure we have all seen movies where you've seen the movie and you're like, wait a minute, certain things don't seem right. Like you know that there was something else between this panel, there was something else there, but you're never going to get the chance to see it, right? Whereas Snyder went back and he said, this is what I did, and he's putting out there for everybody else to see. He said, damn, that makes sense. And you should understand how I feel, because I've said it point blank many times. I did not like Batman vs. Superman. A lot of things about it did not make sense to me, but that cut that he put out, the Snyder cut, makes sense, and it was a better movie. So I get.
But what you forget is that the cut that Snyder put out, that was the one that he turned in. The studio edited back and cut that out. Yeah. That's why in this version, Snyder said, "I'm not getting paid because I want my cut. I want complete control."
You want complete control. So
that was the big difference. So when he put out, he put it out. Yeah,
right.
And there's a lot, and I've seen a lot of directors, because like for example, Lord of the Rings. I've seen the Lord of the Rings, the three of them, all the time. I've seen them multiple times. But the director's
that was brought up by Jason. He brought up Lord of the Rings as well.
But the director's cut just threw a couple of extra little things in there that made the movie make even more sense than what it originally did. And I'm quite sure almost we can go into any single film that we've ever seen in life and say, you know what? I know there's another cut sitting out there somewhere. Right. I know there's another cut. The Empire Strikes Back out there.
Right.
I know that.
No, there's plenty of times. There's plenty of movies that have several footage and cuts that you will probably never see. Now, what I'm going to say is this. I'm going to give you this type of information. From the way you're phrasing it, only only really kind of applies to the fact that Zack Snyder may have looked at his own cut and said, for the epilogue, he added something. He added the Joker character because that wasn't originally in his cut. He went and got Jared Leto's Joker and added him to a scene that was already, a scene that was already in his film, but he shot a little extra portion and added that.
Now, did you know that they didn't shoot that together?
Yeah.
No,
they did not shoot together.
Yeah. They didn't shoot that together.
They were separate.
Yeah, they were separate. Yeah,
they were separate. They didn't shoot that together.
Yeah, they didn't shoot together, and that's that is the only thing that he added, and that's why he added it at the very end as the epilogue, because it would have been asinine for him to try to go and shoot something and add it in the middle of the film when the film was already shot. All you have to do is finish the CGI. That whole time he was pretty much just working on the post, and he was doing a lot of the post himself.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of the post
but
himself.
like I said, that term Monday morning quarterback is the only term I could legitimately think of, because he's not getting a read unless you want to say a do over, but you're doing over what shouldn't have been done, what shouldn't have been messed up in the first place.
Shouldn't have been redone in the first place.
That word doesn't apply. So Monday morning
obviously Darkseid was not in the film in the theatrical cut. He's in this one, obviously. That's another shot of Steppenwolf without his armor on, completely different looking. Looks like there's an Aquaman shot, another shot there. This is part of that little apocalypse scene. Black suit Superman.
Yeah,
that obviously wasn't in they weren't going to go with that. Now what happened is that was easy for Joss Whedon to keep out, because they actually had to color change this suit. This is actually the regular suit. They changed it in post. They didn't get a separate black suit to shoot this scene. They changed it. So that's where so that was easy for Joss Whedon to just keep it the red and blue or whatever. But
in hindsight, you shouldn't have did that. And this is, I guess, my other issue. I don't know if it's a big issue, but if you are going to go in and you're going to butcher someone else's work, right? Mm-hmm. And like this right here, Superman in that black suit. Mm-hmm. Now, once again, I'm not the biggest comic book fan, but even I know that when Superman came back, he not only was he not Superman, he split off into different things. But one of the things was the black suits, that steel stuff. Don't put it in the trailer. Don't put it in. You alluded to that in the trailer, in the original trailer.
And a lot of stuff was alluded to in the original trailer. That in the original marketing they had to do a whole new marketing campaign by the time there's Jared Leto's part that he shot. Which I have to say, with Jared Leto, I have to give him credit. He really did a good job with this go round as Joker. He did it a little differently. His Joker was a little different from what we saw in Suicide Squad. But let's not forget that he was only in Suicide Squad for like 5 minutes when we saw of him. Now I heard that there's enough footage of him and Harley Quinn to have their own movie that was shot for Suicide Squad. There's enough Joker Harley Quinn footage to have an entire separate movie. That's how much was shot. In that, that's what this perfect example again on how people shoot things. You shoot stuff that you have things a certain way, and it never really comes out. Because my point exactly from all of this anyway is for me to say, this situation with Zack. That's why I think Warner Brothers is trying to basically really enforce their justice, pun intended. Because they don't want people to think that this could be a turning point for the filmmaker to be able to maybe get his real vision out there. But I think social media, I think internet streaming services will give filmmakers the opportunity to express their full version. Because from a business standpoint, what does the company really have to lose? You see what I'm saying? It really can help them, and they don't have to really cower down to the filmmakers and no, this is the cut we want, and this is what we're going with. And if it doesn't, whether it fails or not, the filmmaker should have the opportunity to have his vision imagined. So that's what I think.
I'm gonna tell you.
What do you mean, nope? Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. No, I mean, this just me thinking out loud. It shifts the balance of power.
So the balance of power has shifted, bro. The streaming services have shifted the balance of power.
That is not the balance. That's not the balance of power. Balance of power is not because we have streaming service. The balance of power is always going to be with the studio because no matter what independent filmmaker you are, right? I mean, I would imagine that without the studios, to some sort of degree, whether it is to distribute, put it on the streamers or whatever, it's like. Okay, I equate that statement you said to like the thing that happened with Zack and the owner of the Cowboys, right? For years he kept signing them to a 1-year deal, right? Because why over a year? He didn't want to give him the extra year, right? Once he gives him the extra year, the balance of power now shifts. It shifts from the owner to the player. Now the player is the person really calling the shot because he held out and he basically said, either you give me next year, I'm going to walk. So now the owner had to cave in. I don't know if studios feel that. Now I'm just using that analogy. I don't know if that's accurate, but I don't think that the studios are going to be willing to give up their power position more power to the filmmakers. Because once again, no other director in history has that kind of juice. That's basically going to make a studio bow down to
first time for everything. Right?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. My whole point is. This could be. It has nothing to do with, for me, it doesn't have nothing to do with a shift in the power. What I'm saying is, could this be a situation where filmmakers look to stuff like this situation? It may be, like you said, Zack Snyder was the first to do it. Just because you're the first, definitely don't mean you the last.
It's like in the music industry. Very few people in the music industry own their masters.
Look at what you brought up about Nolan. Nolan is displeased with what Warner Brothers did, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's displeased with that. He doesn't like that. So from the rumor that you heard, he's actually entertaining going to Marvel and doing a Marvel film, right? Because of the fact that he's displeased with that, right? So he's also, trying to use whatever leverage that he can use as a filmmaker, because obviously the studios have their certain amount of leverage. The director, if you're a big director, have your certain amount of leverage, right? So he's using whatever he feel he could use, whether it's to spite them, whether it's to get them to do what he wants. We don't know what his motives are. So if that's even true, we don't know what his motives are. So it's the same thing. So who's to say that other directors may not pursue that in the future, where they might be like, hey, let's do it in the negotiation standpoint, saying, hey, can we negotiate something where, especially if it's a company like Warner Brothers that has a partnership with a streaming service, where it's like, hey, can we negotiate from the beginning that, blah, 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 we put the theatrical cut out. Can we put my cut on like the streaming or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that you don't think people are going to explore that? I'm sure they will. You know what I'm saying? Going to get a chance to vindicate themselves, because you don't know what's going to happen with the theatrical cut, right? And if it goes out there and that it's been chopped up and put the wrong way or whatever, and it puts out there, you get that opportunity. I think that this may open up opportunity for other filmmakers to get their visions realized. And don't, a lot of things come of stuff like that. So here's another character that was cut out of the theatrical cut. I guarantee you looking at this guy, you have no idea who he is, Ralph. Because most people who saw the theatrical cut would not know who this guy is.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, okay. So he's what's his first name? I know his last name is Choi. Ryan Choi or something. I think his name is Ryan Choi. Like that. He is okay.
Go ahead.
He's one of the. He now runs. By the end of the film, he runs Star Labs. But he's one of Star Labs. But he's also in the comics. He becomes the character, the Atom. So, the hero, the character, the Atom. Yeah, that's fine. That's who he becomes. So he was completely cut out the film. The only Asian representative character in the film, and they cut him out. You know what I'm saying? He's Chinese too. So now I'm getting to this point here. What I want to talk about is another reason why the Snyder Cut is so loved is because the cast, the relationship between the cast with Joss Whedon and the relationship between the cast with Zack Snyder. This cast has been on record multiple times, and multiple cast members have been on record and said that they were not pleased with Whedon's cut of the film, the reshoots that they had to do. Wonder Woman, definitely, because of all of the way the difference between her character. And I wish if it wasn't for YouTube, Ralph, if it wasn't for YouTube being such suckers the way they do and flag us for stuff, I would have showed scenes side by side, because I was starting to cut that together on my own time. I was going to take a scene from Whedon cut, take a scene, a screen capture from Snyder's cut, and put them side by side just to show people how different it was from the reshoots and whatever. So all of them have went on record, or maybe not all of them, but most of them have went on record. And basically, if they didn't say nothing directly about Joss Whedon, they just said that they weren't really happy with the reshoots. You know, like I said, Batman became this Superman groupie all of a sudden. Wonder Woman once again, became this whatever she is, and like we said, we talked about that stuff. Now this is the cast with, that's just obviously a picture of just Whedon with the poster. But, this is the cast at one of the Comic Cons when they were there with Zack and stuff. Their relationship with Zack was, very much more intimate, just a better relationship with him. They didn't have a good relationship with Whedon. And I think that's I think that's an important thing about this whole thing too. You're getting to see what was, and they all say the same thing. Everyone's like, you're getting to see. The actors feel the same way that the filmmaker feels. They're like, this is the work that we originally did, and we thought it was great when we did it, but we had to come back and do the reshoots, but we weren't happy with those. So they're all saying, like, you have Jason Momoa out there saying, you finally you get to see what we actually did for the film. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So they were all ecstatic. They were all 100% behind Zack Snyder. Supportive with this, all of them. So you gotta remember, he casted all of them. He cast all of them. Mm-hmm. He put Gal Gadot in the position to be Wonder Woman because he cast her as Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? Yep. All of these people, Ben, Ezra, they all got cast from him. So wait a minute, I gotta. Mm-hmm.
No, never mind. Because I'm looking at this picture. I was like, who's this person crouched down by Affleck? But I'm guessing that's Cyborg.
Ray Fisher.
Yeah, that's Ray Fisher. Yep.
Yeah,
that's Ray Fisher, right there. And then I think that's Zack back there, or it might be Henry Cavill, maybe. And who got cut off in this picture? Probably Cavill. But they were at like a Comic Con or whatever, and he had bought them all out. Zack had bought them all out, and they had a great time there. So their relationship with Zack was just a whole different thing. Here's a picture of, this is one of the original production stills. You see what I'm saying? When this was all the way back when he even looks different. You know what I'm saying? It was all the way back when they really shot it. You know what I mean? And there's Ray Fisher and his get up that they basically his onesie that they're gonna turn into. They're gonna turn into Cyborg and all that stuff. Here he is now with Gal. Explaining to her his relationship with this cast was just something that was completely, there was a whole different energy. They've all at different times explained it was a completely different energy between the two shoots. Also tells you, a lot about that. There he is again. Shots, some got Aquaman floating, I guess. They probably was doing some Atlantic stuff there. Here he is. So I mean, all of this stuff here is just shows you that's a pixelated shot of him and Henry Cavill. Probably he's looking at some dailies or something because he's got like the thing there. Yeah, they're probably looking at the dailies, smiling. And this was, I believe, from Batman versus
Superman.
Yeah, it's Batman versus Superman because this was the warehouse scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just had that picture in there just to show he had rapport with them because he had worked with most of them already. You know what I mean? Before I actually worked with all of them already because they were all at some point was in Batman versus Superman, even if it was the little cut scenes that they had. So I mean, that being said, what I'm saying is this film to me, what we've been talking about all this time, right? What you were talking about, Ralph, and what we've been going back and forth talking about. This to me can be, and it could serve as an important time in filmmaking. Whereas it may, even if it doesn't work, at least it may give the filmmakers pause to say, you know what, I'm going to I might think about doing that. Maybe even negotiating down the line, where I'm able to get my cut out there if put it out. Now, most of the time they do get a chance to put out their director's cuts, so and that usually goes like in the DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of them doing it the DVD, maybe they'll do it to a streaming service or something like that they may be affiliated with or have a deal with or own as an extension, because that is eventually going to completely replace Blu-ray and all of that stuff. It's going to be because they're going to start offering some of them already are starting to offer extras and stuff like that through this, because even on Disney Plus, some parts of Disney Plus you can see extras and cut scenes and stuff like that. So they're already starting to offer that on the streaming services. So that's one of the things that's what I mean. I can only speak for myself. That's really the only reason why I bought the DVDs and the Blu-rays, to see the extra stuff.
Yeah.
The cut scenes, the director commentary and stuff like that. They're going to start offering that, which is a very easy thing to do. They start offering that on the streaming services. Sooner than later, streaming services, just like everything else in technology, dude, it will replace DVD. Well, Blu-rays kind of replace DVDs, and this will replace the Blu-ray, because you got people are broadcasting in 4K. They're broadcasting in that type of quality, so they don't need. They're not going to need the Blu-ray anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like anything else. It's just like the laser disc. It's just like it's like everything. The progression with technology. Eventually, it's all about convenience. What is the most convenient way of watching this and still getting a quality picture? So, but you got once you get a chance to watch it, Ralph, I think you'll really enjoy it.
No, I know that part. I know I'm amped to see it. I'm dying to see it. Because like I said, I don't remember any other filmmaker having this kind of opportunity.
No one did, and no one did.
An opportunity. He did it for the fans.
He did it for the fans.
But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of directors that could sit back and say, "Hey, we could do this for the fans to show you what we really did," and they haven't been granted that opportunity. Even Spielberg, as great as he is, he hasn't gone back and done anything like
millions
that.
And millions and millions of signatures, and
Spielberg don't need to do that. When Spielberg got tired of saying, he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna open my own studio," which is what he did. He opened his own thing, you know. But except for when they re-put E.T. in, which all he did really was like change some of the special effects. I think he gave you like one little bonus scene. He hasn't gone back and done anything of this nature. And and now I'm thinking about it, I got speaking of this, I was asked a question. I'm gonna pose this to you two, right? Are both of you a fan of the film Jaws?
Yes.
Right. Are we in agreement that the main reason why Jaws works is because you really don't see the shark until going towards the end of the movie, which is because for whatever reason the shark didn't work. If the shark had worked? It's a two-part question. If the shark had actually worked, would we have gotten the version of Jaws that we've all seen? And would Spielberg became the guy, or would he just been another so-so director?
I think that he still would have became that good that guy because he's obviously
I
made
agree.
films after Jaws that proves that fact. But I think also, no, we obviously wouldn't have got the film that we've seen. I don't think it would have been, like bad or anything. But I like that sometimes with filmmaking that just happens, and sometimes it happens for the better. The film gods are smiling upon you.
Well, and remember, instead of we would have seen the real shark rather than all the stock footage that he ended up putting in there.
Right. Yeah. You would have saw what you wanted to see, and then it probably would have been even a little tad bit more graphic if we would have had gotten that. But we didn't. But it was still that showed. Right? I mean, it's actually good that we did. It's good for him that we didn't, because when those type of situations force you to be creative.
I just have to tell you,
creativity. Every filmmaker goes through it. I'm sure, AJ, I know you've gone through it in your films. Challenges spark creativity. It's like, what do we have to do now to make this work with this situation?
No, but what I'm saying is, what if the shark had actually worked from Jump Street?
Yeah.
Would the film came out something? Hey, just thinking about it, would the film have came out similar to what we actually got? And also with that question, what you just said, you think Spielberg would have still became the man? From Spielberg's own mouth is that he was already developing a reputation, going over budget. And the only reason he even got Raiders of the Lost Ark was because he was friends with Lucas, and he said, "I will make sure this comes in under budget." Right. Okay. So would Spielberg, if Jaws didn't come out the way it came, would Spielberg have became the guy, or would he just became another guy with a whole lot of potential that was unfulfilled?
I think I answered that question. I think he still would have. I think he still would have became the guy, because he didn't rewrite. Well, he did some rewriting because of the shark not working, but he didn't terribly rewrite the script because of the shark not working. You still had, one of the things that worked about Jaws was not even the shark at all. It had nothing to do with the shark.
All right, it was not seeing the shark is what makes it scary. That's
what makes it scary. But what I mean is the story, the story on land was also a good story. You know what I'm saying? That tied into all of this stuff. So my point is, not seeing the shark always, yes, to me, I think it did turn out making it more scary. It's just like, what made Jason, when we talked about what made Jason scary is, him popping up here and popping up there. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that made him, made him more scary or whatever. Michael Myers, just like I said, when you had some films where they had Michael Myers, almost running or walking really fast, that changed it for me. What made Michael Myers scary is he walked hella slow and still got your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's what made him scary. The motherfucker he wasn't rushing. He was walking. Like really walking. Like he wasn't brisk walking. He wasn't speed walking. He was walking.
Yeah, it's supposed to be he was just taking a light brisk and light jog. He was taking a Sunday stroll, but still catching your ass.
And still catching you. And they running at top speed. And he still ended up catching them. So that's what made it scary. Then you had some of those other renditions of it where Michael Myers is walking fast. And I'm like, nah, Michael Myers don't run. He don't walk. He never ran. But they got one. I'm like, you don't walk that fast.
Like I'm not running to kill you. I'm not running to kill you
because I'm gonna kill you.
You're still not gonna get away. You're still not gonna get away.
It's just like that. So.
In my opinion, to finish off Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
First time I saw it was at midnight. It was great. Second time I saw it with my buddies.
Where's our ribs at?
Oh, dude.
Where's our ribs and whiskey?
They were amazing. We drank. We had like 4 bottles of whiskey here. We drank about half of each bottle.
Oh, man.
We had cigars. The ribs were like this huge.
Oh, my God.
We had salad, all that stuff. And it was funny because one of our friends didn't tell us that he was like a comic book guy. He just wanted to show up because, a bunch of dudes drinking whiskey, eating food. But it was so funny because the movie started. He's like, wait, Superman's dead? So and he's like, you guys didn't tell me there was homework. But I mean, Everybody enjoyed the movie. Everybody thoroughly loved the film.
Yeah.
Then I started to get on Friday night. I had friends come in from San Diego, and they're not comic book fans. And we're chilling. We're like, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, let's just watch a movie. We're like, right, Justice League. My buddy reacted to every sequence, every gag, like, oh my God, no way. Oh my God, that was great. Dude, the whole movie, 4 hours of this is like the most amazing thing was all he said. And he's an actor, but he doesn't like comic book movies. But it was just, those are the reactions I've gotten. My kids, other friends that I'm like, hey, have you seen it? And they've automatically become movie fans and Zack Snyder fans. I mean, it's that good a movie, Ralph. You should really try to take the time.
And really, Ralph, before you watch it,
watch one chapter a day.
Get the other thing out your mind, bro. Get the theatrical cut out your mind, because I mean, when you watch it, you'll see, oh yeah, I remember this from the theatrical cut, or you'll say, I remember this sequence, but it's not going to be the same scene. So it's like, it's not, like the closest thing that happened in the theatrical cut that you may remember seeing and hear is Wonder Woman's scene in the bank, but this is an extended scene. It's different. It's a little bit different, but it's the same scene.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, personally, I don't want to see. I want the movie to completely change you from what the theatrical was, because I think the theatrical version is a pile of crap.
Yeah.
So if this changes it, then hey, that's even better.
Joss Whedon stole 5 scenes or 5 sequences, action sequences, and that's what's in there.
Yeah.
Everything else he did, it was not anything that Zack did. Joss Whedon rewrote and got $150 million to redo Justice League.
Yeah.
He's the guy that got to redo it. Because he saw the footage.
Yeah.
He saw the footage and he says, oh, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take this, and that's it. And I'm rewriting around it.
Right. He rewrote around it, did reshoots. And then the scenes that he did take, he recolored them and stuff like that to make it different. You know what I mean? He cut them down and recolored them to make it different, So it's like, and like I said, I'm sure that Zack Snyder can take all the footage of Avengers and cut a different movie. You see what I'm saying? Because
I'm sure
he can do that.
Hell, he probably make it better.
He might make it better. He may make it darker, which some people don't think that would be better. But I'm just saying, anyone can do it. A good director can come in and do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it should have been done. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now, with that being said,
one thing I will tell you that Justice League destroys Infinity Wars.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to.
That's bold.
That's bold.
I'm gonna say this. I don't say that it is destroy Infinity War.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's better.
Before Wes says that, does it destroy Infinity War as a standalone or Infinity War and Endgame together?
No, I say Endgame. Infinity War.
I'm gonna say.
Okay, so it's not better than Endgame. Oh, you think it's better?
I personally think Infinity War was better than Endgame. I think Infinity War was the better film than Endgame. Endgame was just the payoff film. That's what it was.
Yeah,
it was the payoff. It was a 10-year payoff. So that was like for the fans. That was, the nostalgia. You got to this, you got to that, and it paid off everything that we've been watching for 10 years. That's what made it great film. What was great about the film. But for me, Infinity War is the better film of those two.
And Zack Snyder's Justice League is better than Infinity Wars.
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is better than. I like it better than Endgame. I don't think it's better than Infinity War, only because of all of the payoff that Infinity War. I mean, even the payoff that Infinity War did, as far as incorporating all those different characters that we already know. See, we had to watch it differently. We had to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League differently because we had 2 major characters that we did not know about that he had to build in this film, being Zack. Oh, we knew about, but you know what I'm saying. If you're just a person watching the film, you do not know about Cyborg and you don't know about Flash, their stories.
And even with
and the limit of their powers.
But unite the seven. Remember the slogan, unite the seven.
I remember the seven.
Who's
I
six?
remember the slogan.
Who's six?
I remember this.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And number seven,
there's 5 of them here.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, right? With them, so the 7 would be, in this case, Martian
Manhunter.
Yeah, he would be the 7. But
and he's in there, Ralph.
Yeah, he's in
there.
That's
what he's in. But Wes,
that was also
what you just said. Even what you just said, then realistically speaking, looking at this, you have to throw Aquaman in the equation too. That Aquaman story was not fleshed out at all because this came before Aquaman. So you know who Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman is, but the other 3 characters,
you don't know. So with Infinity War, you there was no building to do except for maybe Thanos, because everyone else's story has been built in their separate movies. And I want to say, this is what I wanted to say. I hinted at the beginning of the show. DC has, this is some people may be learning this for the first time. AJ, you probably already know this. I'm sure some of the comic people that's listening know this. DC had plenty of opportunity they can't get out of their own way. Warner Brothers can't get out of their own way, because there was opportunities where put it like this: Infinity War, Endgame, and all of that stuff. That stuff was pretty much, already being covered in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The Justice League film went into production before that. They were doing that film, and what I'm saying is DC has ideas that they could explore before Marvel, but then they don't. They second guess themselves, and then Marvel beats them to the punch, and that's what happens. So now everybody says that Darkseid is a Thanos ripoff. That is not true. People who know that Darkseid, is not a Thanos ripoff. You know what I'm saying? Because technically he came before Thanos, right? So they had the opportunity to put Darkseid on screen. Because remember, this was first envisioned as a trilogy. In the first movie, you would have seen Darkseid. You just would have saw him. He wouldn't have been a big factor in it, but you would have seen him. They had a chance to put Darkseid on screen. You saw Thanos in some of the other separate movies, but you just saw him. You didn't really get a chance to, you know what I mean? You didn't really get Thanos until Infinity War.
You don't know nothing about him. You don't know nothing about the guy, except that
you got a chance to learn about Darkseid before that. Also, this movie involves time travel. Guess what other movie involves time travel? Endgame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another factor that they basically could have taken from them. They had the opportunity to put that out first, to be the first to say, we explored time travel. We explored, the whole thing with the original storyline was movie 1, the Justice League fights Steppenwolf. They defeat him and they send him back to the Boom Tube. Then they see Darkseid. Movie 2, they go to Apocalypse, fight Darkseid, and lose. Movie 3, Darkseid takes over the planet. They have to fight them and, comes back and save the day. That was the original plot of 4.
And Batman dies.
Right. And Batman dies, right. That Batman dies. Does this starting to sound familiar, people? Is this starting to sound familiar? What happens? The Batman of Marvel dies in Endgame, who is Tony Stark, the one who put the team together, just like Batman did for this. They explored time travel, which they do in this. Okay. And like I said, you get to see the big bad guy from here. Multiverse. Someone just pointed out. Yeah, thank you very much. Richard pointed out, don't forget the multiverse. Exactly. Multiverse. Something else that DC has always explored. before Marvel. But what they do is they let, as you say, Ralph, the latte drinking and tattoo having executives second guess themselves. And then what happens? Marvel's like, okay, we'll do it.
So, I've said this before, and I'm
was like, oh, you're copying Marvel. No, they're not. Well,
I've said
they
this
kind of
before,
are to people.
And I'm gonna keep saying it. More DC should have had this thing going in the 90s after the original Batman. It's when they should have started putting these together. You didn't. You didn't.
Yeah, because they always had the property. They always had the, Marvel had to fight and get all their property back. Look how long it took Marvel to get all of their properties back. DC always had, Warner Brothers always had the property under one roof.
Yeah,
and didn't do what they're supposed to do.
Nothing.
So they're forever. They can't get out of their own way, and that's why they will never, ever, ever stand up to the MCU because they can't get out their own way.
Now,
and this proves it. What AJ brought to the table when we talk about what they just said proves. They can't get out of their own way.
Now, if one of you latte drinking, ankle tattoo having, yoga pants wearing executive wake up, become woke, and get out of DC's way and let them just do what they're gonna do. Whether it's Zack Snyder, Spielberg, whoever you put in there.
Yep.
If you get out of their way and let them put this stuff out there, maybe in 10 years we could start having a discussion. Damn, DC really righted. Right,
came back. They want to do more, reboots, and they're talking about rebooting Superman already. And like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? They want to bring in Black Superman. What are you doing?
Now, DC has got the Batman scheduled to come out this year, so we're getting another version of Batman.
Another version of Gotham show that's coming to HBO Max, so you'll be getting another version of Batman.
I am not the comic book guy, but I'm quite sure DC is more than just not only 6, but when you throw in Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern, there's a whole bunch of other characters in it too. And Green Arrow. There you go, right there. Maybe it's time to have Green Arrow come to the screen.
Yeah,
it's certainly time to.
Now that's a film Nolan could do and make it dope. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a non-powered, superhero. He's kind of like Batman in a way. You know what I mean? As far as that goes. So
I got a bow and arrow. There's 1,000 guys and I only got 6 arrows. What am I going to do?
Exactly. I'm gonna split these arrows and shoot everybody down.
I know.
Or you're gonna run an Eddie Murphy line from Harlem Nights. It's not how many you shoot; it's who you shoot.
Exactly.
It's not how many you shoot.
Like he's running around. He's running around the building with the bow, but every time he takes the arrow out, 10 more come back. It's some crap.
Yeah.
My point is this: that DC is bigger than just those 7, 8 characters. You have a whole plethora of characters in there. Even if you wanted their secondary characters. You listen, DC.
There's a lot of characters. DC got a lot of interesting characters.
But listen to me, DC.
Explore.
You did a great job with Joker. I'm not going to deny you that. You guys, because myself, I was like, why are you making?
We all were. We were all saying that. And I gladly ate my words because I was like, I really enjoyed what he did. But they did with it. But it wasn't necessary. Still wasn't necessary, but it was good. I'm glad they did it.
But for God's sake, stop trying to roll the dice. Get your universe in order. Get it working, and then when it's working, then you can go back to doing your one-offs where you're taking a secondary character, and for this one movie that is all about them. Because and even with Marvel did that. Nobody, even after the Avengers, the characters of Avengers, nobody really thought Guardians of the Galaxy was why are they even important? But then you saw the movie, you said, come on. It's a talking raccoon. And
they made it work.
And they made it work. And not only did they make it work, Not only did they make it work, they made you love it.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Groot. People was like, "Yo, I want a Baby Groot." That's what.
Look who joined the party.
But that's what DC needs. You have to make us love you. And like I just said it again, you guys should have been getting this plan rolling after Burton's Batman '89.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you should have started.
They could have started back then.
You could have started this thing back in the '70s when you had the Wonder Woman TV show in the air. You could have started it then.
I mean, the thing is this. My final words on it is going to be this, and like I said, I agree with you 100%. They had the opportunity to do what the MCU is doing. They had that opportunity to do it ahead of time. Every time, and that's what I mean by can't get out of your own way. Once again, I run it down again for the people who do not know or did not know. Zack Snyder's or Justice League period, that whole story, that whole epic saga starts with Man of Steel. Zack Snyder envisioned this whole thing along with Jim Lee. Jim Lee freaking drew out the whole blueprint. It started with Man of Steel, and it was supposed to end, as far as that goes, with the third Justice League movie or whatever the case may be. And then all of the other movies were going to break off, and all the other directors were going to take their cues from that and make all the solo movies. Even though I never agreed with them doing it in that format, it would have worked had they kept the vision alive. It would have worked. It would have worked just as well. As far as because Wonder Woman still was good. Still did well. Was a great movie. Aquaman also did pretty well. It's a good movie. So, but you didn't get the other solo movies afterwards. But the bottom line is you had Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. All of the story interconnects. And then when you watch this version of Justice League, the actual version of Justice League, you see why. Because there's footage that automatically will trigger your brain to take you back to Batman vs Superman, or take you back to Man of Steel even. And certain things you'll see in this film, Ralph, that will take you back to one of those other films. And it's going to click like that. You're going to be like, okay.
See, I'm good with that one. And not to knock Warner Bros., but, what are you guys going to do with Shazam? Because somehow you're going to have to integrate Shazam into this universe. How are you guys?
He is kind of in the universe. They did it at the end of the film.
Right. So that's my question. What is your plan? Do you just keep planning to make movies and say, hey, we're going to roll the dice. This one works. This one didn't. Or
I don't think so, because I'm answering that because Dwayne Rock Johnson, has always
Black Adam today.
Yeah. He's always wanted to join this universe and do, incorporate the characters in there and keep it.
Now?
Yeah,
isn't he shooting it now?
My buddy's the stunt coordinator on that.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
done for a few months. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
it should be interesting.
They're going to be pretty crazy, from what I was told.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, he can't give no juice, but I still would like to get him on the show and interview him because he's a stunt coordinator. So let him know I'd like to get him on the show, because we've been planning this for the longest, and I've been promising my stunt people that we're going to do a whole show dedicated to the story. Actually, we should do it soon, y'all, because we should remember the whole point was that the stunt category should be added to the Oscars. It should have been a long time ago, and it should be. We should do that show around Oscar time, which is right around the corner. You know what I mean? But
it'll be more exciting than the Oscars, that's for sure.
No, it's
I'm sorry. I'm just not looking forward to the Oscars this year.
I am not watching. I am not watching the Oscars.
I wasn't looking forward.
The ratings for that is going to be terrible. Like I said before, you know me. I'm always looking out for the little guy. I'm always looking out for the independent filmmaker. I think it's good that the independent filmmakers got an opportunity to take part in the Oscars and be looked at by the Oscars, get nominated by the Oscars, because these some of the people that are nominated don't even have a feature film out there. Like you look on their resume and all they had was like short films and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but to me, that's awesome. That's great. They get that opportunity, but from a fan standpoint of watching the Oscars, I'm not into doing that.
Well,
I don't really want to do that. I feel good for them.
But let me ask what you just said. And I agree. Yeah, it is great for the independent filmmakers to get a little shine.
Yeah.
However, what happens when movies go back into the theaters? Do the independent filmmakers just get pushed back to the side in favor of the big budgets? I hope not.
No, they may. I hope not either. But here's the thing that would help them. Being involved in the Oscars, no matter what, a nomination for an Oscar is a nomination for an Oscar. It doesn't matter. It may have been the Oscars, you want to call it
paychecks
the
went up
asterisk
regardless.
season. Yeah, thank you. You just said exactly what I was trying to get to. That is going to raise their stake, their paycheck, and their value. Their value is going to automatically.
They're all going to have jobs. They all got jobs coming up.
They got jobs coming because they got the Oscars looked at them and put them into the Oscars, into the categories. Whether they win or not doesn't matter. You got nominated, your stock goes up. Period. You know
at least a little bit. Then it might go back down. Yeah.
Well, it's up to you at that point. You do what you get. You put in what you get out what you put in. Right at that point, if you get that opportunity, and you've gotten the opportunity, you're gonna, and they're still going to, the Oscars is going to go on as planned. So I'm sure they're probably going to get some sort of big celebrity to host it to try to get people to watch it. So regardless of the fact, it's a good thing for the independent filmmakers. That is for sure.
Yeah. I'm watching Justice League while we're talking.
Wow, that's deep.
That's it. Yeah, it's really good, man, and really good. Like I said, and he said I'm watching it as we speak. I watched it a little bit before.
Right now, you got Darkseid speaking with Steppenwolf.
Something that people were like, "What? Darkseid's in the movie?" Yeah, that's what happened. When we was watching that Kevin Smith thing, and they were like, "Yo," that lady said Darkseid. And even Kevin Smith was like, "What?" He was like, "Darkseid's in this movie?" She's like, "Yeah, Darkseid was in the movie for sure." And he was like, "Where?" He went crazy, and from that point on. That to me was one of my first experience of even knowing that a quote unquote Snyder cut exists. That's another reason why it's called Zack Snyder's Justice League, because it's not just called Justice League, the director's cut, because that cut we saw was not no part of the director. So they can't just call it the director's cut, because technically Zack Snyder was credited as the director for the theatrical film, even though Joss Whedon reshot, and Zack Snyder still was credited as the director for the theatrical Justice League.
Well, with that being said, what movie would you like to go back and the director, like I know there was more to it. What movie do you want to see a Snyder cut for?
That's a tough one right now. I can't think of nothing right now. What would I like to see that's is probably a whole different movie? Or, even if it's just extra footage or whatever. I don't know. I'm not really interested in seeing the extra stuff from Suicide Squad, but I am interested in seeing that Harley Quinn Joker stuff that they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like they shot enough footage of Harley Quinn and Joker.
I'm okay with Suicide Squad. I like Suicide Squad. I have nothing.
It was okay. It was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. But I mean, learning now, like I said, now unfortunately, David Ayer is not going to get the same luxury, but he's feeling the same way. He's feeling like, yo, I'm telling you, it was completely different the way I did it, and than what came out in the theater. So it's like the Ayer cut. Yeah, I would probably watch that just to see what he did. I want to see what he did with Joker, because really, obviously Jared Leto's Joker, was only it was on screen for like 5 minutes. That was it. He didn't have much screen time.
5 minutes too long.
But then 5 minutes too long. But then again, what do you call it? Joker was only on camera for about 20 minutes total in the whole film.
20 minutes too little.
Yeah, too little, right? It was just right, apparently, because he won. But
that's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. But that's pretty much that. Do you have any final words on the whole situation or anything we talked about, AJ? As far as
I think that more people need to watch Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Ralph, I do want to hear.
Yeah, Ralph, you got the nerve. You got the nerve to get on me about not watching a 22-minute film, which I should have.
Yeah.
But
you guys have to watch.
Instinctively said we were going to be talking about Justice League this one day.
You had homework, dude.
The only reason I didn't watch it is because I've been busy with work for the last 4 days. That's it. But even with that one, if I had time,
we all work.
Yeah, but I work in the afternoon. By the time I get home, it's almost midnight. I'm not trying to sit up and watch a 4-hour movie. I got to eat, shower, and get up to go work the next day. Today is my day off. But
like you said, it's broken into chapters. You could have watched a little bit every day.
No, Wes. You watched Justice League. You said 5 times, right?
Yeah,
that's 20
total.
hours
Since Thursday.
20 hours, but you couldn't spare 23 minutes. That's an entirely different.
No, it's not entirely different. I spent most of my time watching Justice League. I was preparing for our show because we were going to be discussing the Justice League. So I was preparing.
No, just watch it. I mean, I think it was long overdue. I did cry a tear of joy at the end. It was really time that this happened, and I'm sorry it's not going to continue. And we'll see what happens with this universe now. Like, I don't know.
I'm anxious to see as far as the future goes. I'm anxious to see what's going. I mean, I'm not really anxious because I'm going to do a whole video on why. Because obviously, as a black man, why we do as black people do not need, and I do not want a black Superman movie. I'm going to do a whole video on why we don't need a black Superman movie.
Good, because you could say that I can't.
Exactly. I can say it, and I will say it. We do not need a black Superman movie for a lot of reasons.
Superman, they just need to develop them and keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. For so many reasons.
Brainiac, they need to do the series. Krypton had a great Brainiac.
Exactly.
Krypton did more for
you got Brainiac,
Superman lore
put in
than Warner Brothers has done in history. So I can go back and watch Krypton on HBO Max.
Yeah, I should go back and watch that too.
Right there, and AJ, right there, that is a horrible, horrible statement for Warner Brothers. Like, you guys did better on your TV show than you did with your theatrical versions. That is horrible. They should be ashamed of themselves for some stuff.
It should be. It should be. But I'm going to say that. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. We do not need, and when I do my video, I will explain to you why black people, we don't need a black Superman. We don't.
We don't need a black James Bond.
That's what I'm saying. This is a deal. But
let
me say something. I don't care about James Bond being black as long as he's British. That's what we don't need an American James Bond.
You don't need an American James Bond.
Right. As long as he's British, I don't care what color he is. As long as he's British.
Right.
But
I gotta go.
Yeah. All right.
All right, AJ, thank you.
We'll let you go on that.
You guys. All right. We'll chat later on. Okay.
All
right, brother.
All right. Bye.
Later.
Yeah. So AJ, thanks for joining us again. But what I'm saying is, I'm not with the black Superman thing for a lot of reasons. Not only just because I'm a purist and all this other stuff, just from a black man standpoint. And let's be honest, people. The moment some movie comes out and says, "Yeah, we're rebooting Shaft," but it's a white person, black people will lose their minds.
Somebody's still gonna get burned down. That's what's going to happen.
Soon as they say we're doing Shaft, White Shaft.
Somebody's there getting burnt down.
But like I said, but for a lot of reasons. Number one, we already have very good heroes of color. That we don't need to go to a hero that is typically known. And yes, and I do know that there are a couple of renditions of a Black Superman in the comic books. There's two that I know of, and then you can also think about. I know that I do know. It's not. I'm not saying it's a source material thing. You know how I am with source material. I'm not saying it's a source material thing. I just think it's not needed. I don't think it's needed. I don't like always being the ones that have to go and get a Black version of something else. When we have creative minds, we have great characters already that's never been explored. The whole division of Milestone Comics, which is all Black comics and characters, other than on television and cartoons, those characters haven't been explored, and they haven't been explored in live action except on television, or cartoons. So they are there. I think Michael B. Jordan is involved with working on a Static Shock live action.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right.
But even what I said earlier, I'm sorry. Although I agree with you, I don't want to see an American version of James Bond. I don't want to see a Black version of James Bond for that reason. Like, okay, we all have creative minds. You can't tell me you can create someone that has the same thing as James Bond, but he's Black and he's not James Bond. Create a different character. Don't just take a Black person and say,
I'm cool with that too. But what only reason why I was saying I'm okay with the British thing or whatever, because of the whole, if he was a 00 or a 007 for that matter, say he takes on the 007 moniker, but he just happens to be
that's a different story. If he takes on the 007 moniker, cool. But his name, because he's Black, his name does not need to be James Bond. It could be Wes Clark.
But James Bond in itself is a code name. It's a code name. It's just an identity of whoever's playing the 00, whoever's doing the 00.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The 00 is a code. James Bond. That's James Bond's name. That is because that's where he was born. James Bond. So James Bond 007.
007 is the code.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The status 00 and the name James Bond is tied together. The only thing that happened with that version of Skyfall is that, because if that was the case, then technically speaking, Bond was already married twice. So it's each iteration of Bond is a different individual that's playing Bond. It's not the same Bond. The backstory is not the same for each of them. Because if that was the case, they would have the story would have continued on in a linear fashion. It wouldn't jump and bounce from decade to decade. There's no way you could be the same James Bond decade to decade.
Well, I get that, but I think because it's they just changed it because of people growing older and they can't continue. I think that's the only reason. It wasn't like, well, this person. I think they're trying to suspend reality that this person kept going on, and it's a different story with Bond. And just because there's someone else playing
that whole thing is a slippery slope because it's been going on. It's been going on for years, y'all, and y'all know it. The continuity has been a mess for years, and what happens is there's like a cult. There's a cult of people that say James Bond is a code name, and then there's a group of people that say that it's not. And there's if you can search the internet for hours and find proof on both sides that that there's some proof that it is a code name that's passed down, and there's a lot of proof that it isn't a code name. And so it just really is a slippery slope, and you can kind of go either way with it. But you can literally research that for hours. I remember doing it one night. I researched it for hours. I was like, oh my god.
You say the same thing with Shaft. I mean, that last Shaft movie, no, I didn't like it. But Shaft, the Samuel Jackson, he's named after his dad.
Well, he wasn't the same guy. Yeah, he
wasn't the same guy. But the name, and then
but that's the same bloodline. Shaft was his father.
Yeah, it was his
that's a
uncle or something like that, or father.
It was his father.
Father, yeah.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. The 007 status is just that. It's a status inside of an organization.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I can tell you right now, that's a whole show in itself, because I could definitely bring to the table proof on both sides. I could bring proof that shows that it's not a code name based on research and stuff that I found. And then there's also stuff that kind of proves that it could be or it is. So I just said, for me personally, I wouldn't have a big problem with it. But for the same reason of me saying, I don't think we need to say, oh, we need to, oh yeah. Like, I'm in this group, one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, they're like, oh yeah, black people could use a black Superman. And I'm just like, we don't need a black Superman. I'm like, there is a black Superman. You know what his name is? Icon. No, his name is Icon.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? From Milestone. Do a film on him. Most people, the average person won't know who Icon is. That's a good thing, because now you get a chance to build a movie from scratch and show this character who is basically Black Superman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why actually go and do Black Superman? After all of this, and welcome back to the show, Kev. Before you came on, AJ had put the numbers up. He said that he just got, what was the number? It was like 200 and something, 50 something $million that HBO has made off of new subscriptions.
Oh, didn't he say like 600 million?
He said 600 million? Is that what he said?
He said 6.
It might have said, he might have said that. I'm dyslexic. I probably got the number. It might have been 625 million, not 265. I don't know, but it was a lot of just on new subscriptions as a result of the Snyder Cut. So you got that going on. Now, the article that we were referring to was an article. I posted it in the messenger about, I think I did, maybe I didn't, about when a woman said that the Snyder verse basically is a wrap. There will be no continuations. There will be nothing. This was it, right? This was the president of Warner Media. I forget her name. She's kind of newly appointed, like recently, and she said that is it. So, anywho, with all that,
AT&T said that's it. That's when I'll say that's it.
So I'm just sitting here like, okay, when AT&T said, right? I mean, but I think that's the only thing that could save it. She is running Warner Media, and of course she's trying to obviously protect the Warner Brothers side of it. She's trying to push the narrative that Warner Brothers had a big say in putting this out when it really wasn't, when they really didn't. Yes, they had to eventually meet with Zack Snyder, like she said. I'm sure they met with Zack Snyder, and also something they had to do to finalize putting out the Snyder Cut. But that was because they were forced to do it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because they wanted to do it. So, but she tried to push the narrative of that. She tried to push the narrative of, with the Ray Fisher stuff. She tried to brush all that under, saying, oh, no, we had an investigator come in, and the investigator said that, everything was good to go. And no, he was not cut out of the movie for, due to racial motivations, and what he said went on with him. Yeah, all of this stuff that they was talking about, right? And she's like, and we even offered him. She's like, he was accused when he was accusing what's the guy's name that was over at Warner. I forgot his name, but the guy that he was accusing of doing the things that he did. She was like, no, I don't think he treated anybody any differently, and he even offered Ray Fisher a part in the Flash.
Hush part.
Yeah, right. In the Flash. All of that may have happened, but like you said, Ralph, maybe that was a hush part. Maybe that was, hey, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. I had to say that. Image of nostalgia used to. But anyway, I had him to just basically.
Wow.
I had to do it, man. I can't say that in phrase without finishing it. But like, hey, man, listen, this, that. Come on, man. This dude would not be going on and on like this for no reason. He wouldn't be going on and on like this if this was just some BS. I had to get rid of that split screen because that was freaking me out a little bit. It was like picture inside of a picture inside of a picture.
That was the multiverse. That was the multiverse.
That was the multiverse right there.
Yeah,
that was the multiverse version of us over there. That was Earth 35 version of us. But yeah, so the future, as far as she's concerned, is they're pushing this Black Superman BS. They're pushing, whatever little other things that they're doing, the stuff that they're doing with HBO Max, whatever. But she's like, I'm so happy that Zack Snyder had his opportunity to realize his vision. Now that was pretty much the close of his trilogy. His trilogy is complete. No, it ain't, chick. It ain't complete. But
you got a movie missing out here. It's called Man of Steel 2. It's missing.
It's missing. And in the next Justice League movie, if come on, man. They could continue this going. They got it. I don't know.
Once again, although this is different than Nolan, you closed out Nolan's trilogy and it's end to end. Right,
mm-hmm.
I think some people say maybe you guys should have incorporated this version with the Nolan, but you didn't. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But now you're doing this again with Snyder.
Yeah.
Right. You're doing this now you're doing this a second time, and only doing it for Snyder is because you don't want to say, Zack, we were wrong. We're sorry. We apologize. That's the only reason why you're doing it, because you're not saying that he's a bad director. He made a crappy film. No, you just don't want to bow down. And once again, the balance of power. And kiss his butt, which by all rights you should be doing. You I'm sorry, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You owe that man big time.
Yeah.
Because not only did he give you the product that he said he was going to give you, the way he's going to give you, you can arguably sit there and say, from this point on, he single-handedly saved your universe. Single-handedly. More than Aquaman, certainly more than Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
because Wonder Woman 1984, I think most people would take as a step back.
Yeah, because he set all of those up, and James Wan delivered a nice, he took the cue. Aquaman. Right, he took the cue from Zack and delivered a good Aquaman. You know what I mean?
Jenkins delivered a good.
Delivered the first Wonder Woman, but Zack also had some. He had a little bit of
But the second one,
he had nothing to do with, and you saw the difference.
Not that great.
Saw the difference. And then now that's what I'm saying. So when you watch this one, you're getting back to that Wonder Woman from the first Wonder Woman, from Batman vs Superman, that warrior. You know what I'm saying? That Wonder Woman that's badass and she's still gorgeous. You know what I'm saying?
So once again, Warner Brothers, what are you going to do? What's your plan?
Yeah, that's their plan. That's what she said the plan was.
Because unless you're going to bring somebody, whether it's someone in-house or out-of-house, that you think this could be the person that's going to... And
their plan is they plan on riding the wave, the whole black, the whole white guilt, black thing, people of color thing that everyone's trying to get on board with. That's their plan. They're going to do the Black Superman. They're doing a Blue Beetle movie. The Blue Beetle is a character that is one of the only. He's like a Mexican character. He's a character that's well known in the DC universe, but So they got that character going on, and the director is a Mexican or Latino. I think he's a Mexican, just like the character director of the film. You got they went and got this I forget her name, the young black lady who's going to be writing the Black Superman movie or doing the reboot. She's writing the reboot for Superman. And this is what they're pushing. That's their selling points. They're like, we're gonna get the black people on board. You know, basically, we're gonna get the people of color on board. You know,
we're already here, dumbass.
We're already here. Exactly. What are you talking? We're already here. We're here pulling our hairs out because y'all are running us away with the other stuff you've been putting out. And you're just doing too much. You're trying too hard. Just do what you can. You have the iconic freaking Trinity. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And then each one of them have so many different villains you could do. You got stories for years with those three characters alone. Then you throw in the Flash, who also has his own set of arch enemies, and he has a great story behind him. You throw in now after watching this, I'm interested in seeing a Cyborg solo movie. At first, I was like, I ain't interested in seeing no Cyborg solo movie. After you watch this, you might be interested in seeing it because you see the potential that he has and how powerful he is. You're like, oh, this is crazy. This dude can do a lot with this. And he literally, Ralph, he could talk to anything that's freaking electronic. That's, you know, he's just like out of this world powerful because of how he was constructed with the mother box, which is technology that's so far advanced from us. You know what I mean? It's like, and that was a line she actually said in the movie. She said something like, technology so far advanced, we look at it as magic. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So he's made up of that technology. So he explains, there's something in there where he explains how the mother boxes work, because they explained another thing that they failed to do in the other movie. They explained to you why the mother box can be used to wake up, Superman, to resurrect Superman. They explained to you why that the mother box is able to do that. Also, the Flash explains a lot of stuff to you that that wasn't explained from the beginning, that people will understand when they watch it. They're gonna be like, oh my goodness. So can't big it up enough, for what it's done, what he's done with it. I give him credit, and I'm very happy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, there's a couple of parts in there that really, really got me. Like, man, this is a really good host, like heartfelt part, And after it was all said and done, the first words that come up before the credits is "For Autumn." I just thought that was beautiful. You know what I mean? Because it unfortunately, it reminds you of the horror that he had to go through in creating this film, and how this film is so tied to his daughter's memory. This film is tied to that because he was in the middle of shooting it, or he had just finished shooting it when this happened to her. So that was awesome. That was beautiful. And I think it made it all worthwhile too. I mean, that's not the only thing that made it worthwhile, but that was just beautiful to see at the end. He put "For Autumn," which is his daughter. And, her memory is so tied to this film. It's just, it's beautiful. I mean, I know I don't know that feeling. And God, I don't want to ever know that feeling. But I do know the feeling of completing something that you started with someone that someone that was in your life that was alive, and then you didn't complete it until they were no longer in your life because they passed. Actually, my last few projects that I completed were, pretty much that feeling that I got, but mainly like with my boy Mike Newton, rest in peace, Michael Newton, very close brother of mine, very close dude. So many of my projects, and hell, I think even including the original when I originally approached Kiki about playing dirty, but a lot of the stuff that I did, Mike was part of those things. My comic book that I did, it was Mike's idea because he was a comic book guy. He was trained by Frank Miller, Will Eisner. You know what I'm saying? So he was a comic book dude. He was an illustrator, and he was a photographer. And it was his idea to tell me to do my project 7 to 7, which is also a film project. That's what it started at. It was his idea for me to do it as a comic book. I never got. He even drew my original comic pages. He drew 3 of the original comic pages. So when he passed, and I decided to finish the comic, obviously I hired another artist, but I still credit him as my creative director because it was great to finish that project and say, same deal, dedicated to him. This other project I was doing, my sitcom, Kiki and Claude, we were doing that. Mike was alive. By the time we finished it, Mike was already gone. So same deal, not comparing it at all because, that's his daughter. But I'm just saying it's a great feeling to have something done and be able to credit or give thanks to your inspirational angels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a good thing. But that's pretty much that. I think going forward, we'll see how this unfolds with the right now, as of Warner Media chairman or whatever she is, the president, Warner Media, they will not be continuing with Zack Snyder's vision. That is out of the question. They're going forward. If AT&T decides to step in again and say, yeah. It may not happen until they decide to do Black Superman and it bombs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like, no. So by that time, Zack,
even with Black actors,
mm-hmm.
I'm not. Listen, and I try to support my people as much as I can. I am not giving no support to that at all.
And I know, coming from Kev, everybody knows Kev always wants on that support, and I do too. I want to support the Black actors. I have nothing. No offense to them, but I'm not supporting that because we don't need it. We don't need it. It's not authentic. It's not being given to us because, for whatever reason, it's not authentic. They're just riding a wave. They're trying, once again, they're looking over at Marvel and saying, oh, Marvel did some, but Marvel didn't do the Black Captain America, which they were thinking about doing. But they didn't do the Black Captain America. They did Black Panther, which is basically the Black Captain America. That's what I'm saying.
Don't be surprised.
They may do that.
That situation still might come up because
I agree. It might come up
with the current tone of how the Winter Soldier is right
now.
Yeah,
with the soldier stuff. Because I think ultimately, they're going this route. Because Katz is upset about because at the end of the Winter Soldier, spoiler alert, people. At the end of this first episode with the Soldier, we all know that at the end of Endgame, Captain America gave his shield to the Falcon, to Sam. And he wants Sam to take up the mantle. Well, Sam, at the beginning of this film, this show, decides that he feels that he's not worthy, and he feels like, you know what, I want to respect Cap. This is Cap's thing.
Let's keep
going to take on the
mantle. What he said. But let's keep it clear what he said. This feels like it belongs to someone else.
It feels like it belongs to someone else.
He wasn't specific about Steve Rogers. He said this feels like it belongs to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says that, in my mind and in my thinking, he's going back to, and I don't know why the original super soldier, his name keeps escaping me, but I think he's referencing back to him when he says that.
Well, I think that eventually he is going to take the mantle up, because now at the end they give it to the other Captain America, which in the comics he was called like the Super Patriot or something like that. He was called, and he was like the second Captain America. He was like another Captain America. But he was referred to as like the Super Patriot or something like that. But so that's basically what showed up at the end of this episode, and they after he took what Cap gave him and kind of like donated it to the museum or whatever. Then they went and took the damn thing and gave it to this new Captain America. So, I think ultimately
that nigga almost was Captain America.
Exactly, we dodged the bullet. But I think what Marvel is doing is teasing us that ultimately Sam is going to decide to take the mantle, because that's what Steve wanted. That's what Steve wanted him to do. Mm-hmm. So at least by somewhere in the middle or the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, he may decide to do it, get it back. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Wait a minute. Plot twist. They may show a scene where Steve Rogers either comes back or Old Man Rogers comes back and explains to Sam who the original super soldier was. Somewhere along the line, Steve finds out, in his digging, trying to find out about Bucky and what's going on with Bucky, he finds out that the original super soldier program was actually tested on black people, which it was.
Which it was. It was tested on black, and the one guy who survived it was that's where the whole Black Captain America storyline comes from. Right. So, like, once again, I'm big on source material, and that is true. It is part of source material, but I'm just saying, whatever. My point is this: it doesn't feel authentic coming from DC in this fashion, by them saying, "Oh, look, people, we're doing Black Superman," haha, or it's good to say, yes, you're gonna do the Blue Beetle, and he's a Latino, he's the Mexican character and stuff like that. They can do that
because it's the Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is being the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle is being Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is a Mexican character in the comics. So, anyway,
I'm never one to get mad about. I understand that there are certain changes that need to be made. Like, I didn't freak out about Nick Fury and all of that because it tied in, and the way they did it, the way Marvel did it, they did it with class. They approached, they changed the character in the comic, and then they approached Samuel L. Jackson about it.
Yeah.
In this case, even if it's a character, I don't care. Even if it's a character from Krypton, was that.
If you do it that way, then that's different. You see what I'm saying? But what I mean is, do not reboot the story as this black guy is Clark Kent. You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like, don't do that.
Not do that. They better not do that.
Don't do that, man.
I'm telling you both. Don't even set yourself up for failure. Because see, that's what you're thinking.
He has no faith in Warner Brothers.
None.
He's like,
I don't. Don't set yourself up for failure.
Because we'll be sitting here saying,
I gotta feel that AT&T may step in if these numbers are correct. What AJ said, if those numbers were correct, I got a feeling that Zack Snyder still has a future in DC. Even if they do it in the form of separate worlds, different Earths. Even if they do it in that, which is the formula that they already started with anyway. That most of the newer stuff that they're doing is quote unquote not interconnected with the Snyder universe.
I don't, because like I said earlier, it's all about the balance of power. if they are in a position where they got to apologize to Zack Snyder and gave him anything they want to, they're not going to do that. They're just not. And it's like I said, it's unfortunate because it's not a matter because he's not a brilliant filmmaker, that he's a creative mind. It's not a fact. It's bad. But like the old song, you don't want to sit there and kiss the ring because now you got to kiss the ring of Zack Snyder, And does Warner Brothers as a company want to bow down to this filmmaker? No, they don't.
No, but it's not. To be honest with you, it's not about Zack Snyder. It's about the public image. Is what they're concerned about. That's what they're more worried about than having to bow down to that.
But those two things are tied together. You can go out right now and put out this Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers and I could put out this whole spiel now talking about how everything is good between the two of us to the public, but behind closed doors we can't stand each other.
Yeah, well, we know that's true.
Let's be clear. Ryan and what's his name from the Bears? The coach of the Bears hated each other behind closed doors, but they on the field they put the Bears together and made them winners. But behind closed doors, they hate each other. Hate each other, right? And I'm not sitting there saying that's his relationship now between Warner Brothers and Snyder, but Warner Brothers owes Snyder. There's no doubt they owe him. They owe him nothing more. I'm sorry, they owe him the bare minimum of an apology, and they're not going to do. They're not going to.
And you were right, Ralph. He did say 650 million so far and counting.
Wow.
And counting.
So
I mean, come on. It was so big that it actually crashed HBO Max this weekend.
Yup. We said 650 million and counting.
Yeah.
That's in new subscribers. Just to watch it. So in new subscriptions and stuff like that. So I mean, right there. Now, this is gonna be funny. This is only in a matter of what? Not even a full
4
week.
days. 4 days.
So this is on course to smash Justice League's theatrical take.
This is almost like a theatrical.
It's almost there. The take made like
the money they're making is like a theatrical take, almost.
The theatrical made like 800 million. So this is 3/4 there. It's almost there in 4 days.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and like
keep believing that Zack Snyder's not coming back to make another movie if you want it. It's by hook or crook, it's going to happen.
I'm telling you, the only way that's going to happen is for Warner Brothers, and then it's not going to be public. It's for Warner Brothers to get him into room, and they apologize now. They ain't gonna have to
apologize. They ain't gonna have to say nothing because all it's going to take is whoever's over Warner Brothers to be like, "This is what's going to happen," just like they did with release the Snyder Cut. This is what's going to happen.
Well, I think,
you're getting on board.
I think the only way they're going to have to do it is this was going to have to happen. AT&T, the people of AT&T are going to have to meet with the Snyder team and say, what do you want? And Zack Snyder's answer is going to have to be 2 words.
Final cut.
Kevin Feige. I want to be Kevin Feige when it comes to this. Meaning, you stay out of my effing way. Let me do what I'm trying to do. Let me envision it the way I'm trying to envision it. And everything will be good. Now, for that to happen, AT&T is going to have to say pretty much what Disney did for Kevin Feige. They're going to have to say, okay, Zack is in a situation where we're calling this the Snyder zone. You can't be in this Snyder zone. I don't care who you are in Warner Brothers. Leave Zack Snyder alone. Yeah. You take care of everything else, but leave Snyder alone. But that has to happen above the heads of Warner Media because it has to be the AT&T people because they've already, Warner Media from day one has already decided that they don't want no part of Zack Snyder anymore.
And that's the part. Are they going to bow down?
No, they're not going to bow down, but they could be beat to submission by their superiors.
Basically, in a nutshell, nigga, this is what you gonna do.
This is what
you want to do.
No,
this is what you're gonna do.
That is not going to happen. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen either because whether it comes from Warner Brothers,
that's what happened. That's why we have
it can happen again. No, it already happened. What?
That's right. It happened once.
That's how we got the Snyder cut.
But listen,
I said before we
happened.
got the Snyder cut, it's gonna take for somebody to come in and be like, you know what, Warner Brothers, shut up. This is what we're doing. And what happened? A company came in and took over. That same company told them, sit down, shut your mouth up. This is what we're doing. Get on board with it.
That's very, very true. But now that he got what he wants, what else? What are you going to ask for the next time? Right?
What do you mean?
Well, if AT&T decides we still want Snyder around us,
he's going to be around. Yeah, he's going to be around.
Right. But then the question asks, well, Snyder, what do you want? Is it something as simple as having nobody interfere in my vision?
I'm sure that is it that
I want to be
that already happened. That already happened with the Snyder. I
know what you're saying, Ralph. Well, I think it's going to be a couple things. Number one,
it's going to be a lot
as we pointed out, and as AJ pointed out, Snyder didn't even take money on this. This was for the fans. He worked on this for 6+ months or over a year. He worked on this cut personally for no money.
No money.
You know what I'm saying? So they just gave him the money to finish the CGI and all that other stuff that they need to get done. But he didn't take any of the money. So yes, of course, you have to strike some sort of development deal. That's what they'll give him. Someone's going to give it to him, and if Warner Brothers don't do it, someone will.
I'm not, and now that part, I'm not debating that part. If Warner don't do it, somebody will. Yeah. I'm just saying Warner Brothers may start looking and say, he wants too much that we want to give up. You really want to shift the balance of power.
Well, but the thing is this: that's not their decision. That's been proven already. That ain't their decision. The decision is the people at AT&T. If the people at AT&T decide we're going to step in and we want this to happen, they may just decide to say, you know what? Okay, we made the money. We did the Snyder cut. You guys go ahead and now take it from here and do what you want to do. They might decide to do that. If they decide to do that, then we automatically know that we will not be getting any more Snyder stuff because that's already been made. That's already been made.
I agree, but even with that one, even if you say, well, Ralph, it ain't up to Warner Brothers, to AT&T. AT&T, then AT&T is still going to say to Snyder, what do you want? And does your demands for what you want, is it more than what we are willing to do?
Oh, well, I mean, that's for anybody though. But honestly, at this point, it's just a matter of you feel him out and see what he wants, and then we go from there. That's all negotiation. But Zack Snyder is a dude that's what he really wants is to be able to create freely.
And he's already getting that. I mean, his next series was for Netflix. This Army of the Dead thing. Yeah. So he's already got his next project lined up.
Oh,
and then the other underlying question that you guys, I don't know if you're considering, would Snyder want to do anything else for Warner Brothers?
He may not. He went through a lot with them, and he was pretty much done with them too by the time this was all said and done.
So he may just say
like this, but because of the fans.
Yeah,
but because of the fans.
No.
Because of his love,
he does have a big love for the fans, bro. He's very active on the internet with the fans. Just
because he has a love for the fans, that doesn't mean that he's going to sit and say, well, because of the fans, I'm going to go back to Warner Brothers.
Like I was getting ready to say, because of the fans and because of his love for the material, he will go ahead and go forth and do it if the opportunity is given to him to finish out his vision the way he started it.
Because remember, his vision's not finished. It's not like, okay, let's bring Zack in again and let him start something new or reboot something. He literally still has to finish from his perspective.
There are still, just for Justice League full vision. There are 2 more movies that are still left for Justice League.
Yeah.
Because even when you look at the Snyder cut, it's the completed version of the first movie. I don't even think that much of it is included from except for the epilogue stuff.
The epilogue stuff. I think what they were originally going to do was this. He shot enough to split into 2 movies. So we still didn't get, that means we still didn't get everything that he shot. He shot enough to split it to 2 movies, and then he was going to do a whole separate 3rd movie to make it a trilogy.
Right.
So it's like,
and we didn't even see all of, we didn't see, we probably only saw like maybe 5% of the stuff from the 2nd movie. And that was the stuff in the epilogue. That's kind of the stuff and the stuff that led up to that.
The stuff that led up to that. So
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I politely disagree with you because I'll tell you like this. Listen, Tom Brady loved the Patriots. He loved the fandom, but does he still play for the Patriots now? No.
So,
right. Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter loved the Yankees. Derek Jeter loved the Yankees. His blood bleeds blue, but he's the owner of a baseball team down in Florida. He's not part owner of the Yankees. Fandom, don't get me wrong. Fandom works to a degree. It does work, but then you got to start using your own sense. And there's a whole bunch of questions. And once again,
but what else other than money, other than a certain amount of money, what else is there to even offer Snyder?
Money?
There's nothing else to offer him.
No,
other than the freedom of creativity.
That's number 2.
Creative freedom. That's number 1 for Zack Snyder. Number one is creative freedom.
But this is what they have to offer him. Whether you do 1 or 2, money, creative freedom. Those are the 2 things. Now, does he want to have begin his own studio? If he doesn't have this, he want to build under Warner Brothers.
Just wants to make films. He's not thinking about having that headache.
That's just speculation at this point.
That's just speculation.
He hasn't put anything out there to.
What I'm saying is this: he's going to want something more than, as I said, for Apollo. He's going to want something more Apollo. He wants, if anything, he's probably going to want to be guarantees that, listen, okay, I'm gonna come back to work for you guys to finish this. I don't want anybody from Warner Brothers interfering in what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course. That's that's Kevin Feige, basically. That's the same thing. When Kevin Feige was having those issues at first from Bob.
He went right around everybody and went right to Bob.
He went to Bob, and Bob said, okay, this is what it is. Don't F with Kevin Feige.
But once again, if doing that one, especially, and the only reason I'm saying this now is because of what's going on with this. Will Warner Brothers or AT&T, whichever entity you want to use,
let's say AT&T, because Warner Brothers has already stated their position. They don't want nothing to do with it.
Will they bow down and give this man anything that he asks for? That's the underlying question.
I mean, that's for anybody, but we already know the answer for Warner Brothers. The answer is no. They don't want to work with Zack Snyder. That answer is already no. And if this happens, it's only coming from above. It's coming from AT&T.
If that is really the case, let's just say that's actually the case, that Warner Brothers don't want anything else to do with Snyder, but AT&T does, and they say, well, we still want him. Would anybody from Warner Brothers, would they actually give their all to a Snyder project?
It don't matter what they decide to do. You either get on board or nigga get out.
That's it. It's the same thing with this. They don't really have to at that point, because I get what you're saying, but I mean, how many times people work on projects that they don't really want to work on? They still gotta do it. You know what I mean?
You're right. They have to do it, but do they give their all to it to make it the very, very best?
They don't need to give their all, because he's the one that brings the creativity to it, and they don't have to give their all.
And then he could potentially be stuck in another scenario that he just went through. And that's when you start asking, is it really worth it?
That's where you got it. That's where you got it wrong. See, in this instance, Warner Brothers is the big brother that's being told by the parent, listen, take your little brother with you to the store. I don't want to hear your damn mouth. Get up off your butt. I told you to do something. Go do what I told you to do. Or you can go to your room and stay there. And we'll all go to the store and you won't get nothing. See, that's the scenario that Warner Brothers is in, to be clear. They're not in a situation where they're just like, oh, well, you know, we don't want. because we understand why you don't want. You don't want because he went against the grain of what you wanted. So because you couldn't control, because let's call it what it is. Basically, because you couldn't control a situation, and because you had the old,
you made stupid
BS
decisions.
going on.
Y'all made stupid decisions.
Exactly.
You let outside things influence you, and you made dumb decisions, and you basically backed yourself into a corner. You the one that put DC to where it is right now.
I totally agree
exactly.
With
so what he's saying is the parent company. I mean, the perfect example is us talking about this now, Ralph. What were we talking about a year ago? We were saying this exact same thing. We were debating if the Snyder cut was going to happen. And we were saying that it's going to happen. If it happens, it's going to be because of AT&T. We sat here and had a whole show and broke down how AT&T.
But you guys got what you wanted. You got your Snyder cut. But now we gotta say moving forward.
No, I know that.
Because
moving forward now.
But now it
we want more.
That's right. The fans want more. Now it is a vastly bigger problem. It's not going to be to use a term as cut and dry.
Wait, hold on. Why is it a problem?
Because Snyder is going to want a lot of things. He's not just going to say, "Okay, let's go back to work."
He already
I don't
didn't
understand
want
where you're getting that from, though. I don't understand where you're getting that from.
Come on, guys. Wait, guys. Look at this. Forget the movie. Look at this real life. Perfect example. Okay, you find out that your girl cheated on you. All right. She comes to you, or you find out that she cheats on you, and she says, "I'm so sorry," whatever reason she want to think. And you decide to get back to her. Do you not make your girl go through all these hoops to really prove that she really wants to be with you?
Well, one that depends on the individual. If it's me, no, I'm not putting you through hoops, because if you
decide to go back, you decide to go back. That's
exactly. I decided to go back. There's no games to be played.
That's an individual situation. Yeah,
that's right.
I think that's an individual situation. I think what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. That yes. It's very likely that we already know what he's likely gonna demand. We just said it. Creative freedom. Probably certain. I'm sure there's a certain number he has in mind. And yes, of course, with any negotiation, it comes down to will they be able to meet that number? Will he compromise? Will they compromise? That's all. That's all speculation.
It is.
But we can only go by at this point. It's for us to go by what's been demonstrated to us in the past. If he didn't have love for the fans, would he have come back and did this movie for nothing?
Well, that is a very good question, and I'm saying take the fandom out of it. You have to take the fandom out of it.
Okay, let's take the fandom out of it. We'll take the fandom out of it.
So
his love for the source material, his love for directing, his creativity is his drive.
And
this is why even when they put his film, even when his film was in the can and they took it out of the can and redid his film, he was still at home working on his dailies in black and white. He was working on them in black and white on his own.
That is still irrelevant. That is all that stuff is still irrelevant.
That's showing you his drive. That explains to you his character of who he is. How is his character irrelevant? How is his drive of being a creative? How is that irrelevant?
Because he doesn't have to work for Warner Brothers to continue to be creative. He doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't have to continue to work for Warner Brothers to be creative. And obviously, because he's doing the movie with Netflix, or the movie for Netflix is already in the can and done, I should say.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
So that goes without saying. We're talking about specifically him continuing on and finishing his vision for Justice League.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he want to continue that if the opportunity is there for him to continue it, especially without hindrance? Which we already done because Warner Brothers was already swept to the side. Like, look, leave him alone. We're doing the Snyder.
But that's it.
The only thing, you want to tell you what Warner Brothers is doing? Warner Brothers is doing exactly what the Republicans are doing. The Democrats went ahead and got the approval for the stimulus package. They put it forward, and now the Republicans in each one of their states are hailing how great the stimulus package is, and they ain't did shit. Warner Brothers is doing the same damn thing.
Well, yeah, that's what they do it. That's what they do.
I might go with that one, but all I'm sitting there is that I'm looking at this not from the standpoint of a fan or a filmmaker, and I'm just looking at it as just common sense, right? If I had an opportunity where somebody really jerked me over, and I felt it in my soul that they jerked me over, and I got the chance to finish something with them, yeah, I take the chance to finish up that one. But the question is, would I want to continue working on it? Do I want to put myself potentially into that same headache, that same toxic environment? So wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, Kevin. No, stop, Kevin. Until you guys can sit here and tell me point now that it has been reported that Warner Brothers or AT&T has said we are giving Snyder creative freedom to do whatever he wants to do. We are not going to stand in his way until either one you can sit there and say that has actually happened, that is a guarantee. Then everything else that you're saying becomes mute until that particular circumstance happens.
Not necessarily
I've already established that. I'm saying to you.
But all the two of you are doing are speculating.
That's what you're doing, Ralph. You're speculating. You sat there and said that Zack Snyder is definitely gonna want a whole bunch of stuff. You don't know that. You're speculating.
Come on,
you don't know the type of man he is.
You're right.
The type of person you are is going to affect how you handle that situation. Maybe you would want a whole bunch of things, but that doesn't mean he would want a whole bunch of things. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You know what? You guys are absolutely right. No. You guys are absolutely right.
He's not going to be in his feelings looking for revenge. Like, what can I get?
I didn't say revenge. I did not. No. Clear that up right now. I never said revenge because this isn't about revenge. It's not about revenge.
But you said, what can I get? They did wrong. What can I get?
Let me. I'm gonna explain this for the last time. Right. Part of this is this man just went through this whole situation with Warner Brothers. He just went through this thing, right? Now, as a human being, would I want to go back into this environment, despite doing what I want to do for the fans? Despite I want to go back.
I'm gonna clear this whole thing. I'm gonna clear this whole thing up. Let me talk for a second. I'm gonna clear this whole thing up. Let me call it. I'm telling you, what you're saying, I get it. All we're saying is speculation from every aspect. But let's go with the facts. The fact is, Zack Snyder has never publicly said that he does not want to continue his vision with Warner Brothers. He never said that. That's a fact. Okay. Fact is, Warner Media has said that they do not want to continue with Zack Snyder. So we already know those answers. We know that Warner does not want to continue with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder has never said that he doesn't want to continue his vision. So those are facts. Now, the deciding factor is, does AT&T look at these numbers of, they're on the path of, between them making the money with HBO Max, they're on the path of making $1 billion off this thing. So, does AT&T say, you know what, Zack Snyder made us, $1 billion if they make it, whatever. Even if they just say fact, Zack Snyder made us $650 million in 4 days. We got to get this guy back on board. All right. That's the deciding factor. We don't know if they're going to say, or are they going to say, you know what, we're going to let Warner do what they want to do, or go to the path that they want to go, and we'll see how it works out. That's speculation. We don't know how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we were doing this same talk a year ago when we were saying, is AT&T going to do this? Is AT&T going to do that? And we were saying, in all fairness, Ralph, we said AT&T would come in there and they would make big decisions and changes over Warner Brothers. Because we did that whole show when we talked about that. And that's exactly what they did.
The year before that, we stated that the only way the Snyder Cut would get made is if a company came in and took everything and took over.
And that's
which
you guys were right, and I'm not debating that. What I'm sitting saying is that okay, we there's been enough fandom for this. We've done it. It's out there now. Now, do we wish to continue? And Snyder probably said by saying, "Do I wish to continue?" And if you really think that he's going to go back into Warner Brothers or AT&T, whichever one entity you claim, and not want some kind of guarantees, you're crazy.
I never. But where did you ever hear me say that he wouldn't want that?
We never said that. That's a part of negotiating deals.
Financial, creative freedom. That's what you want. We said Kevin Feige. That's what I said from the beginning of this conversation. Kevin Feige. That's what he wants.
That's right. That's what he would want. And what I said was this: with Warner Brothers or AT&T, because essentially they would have to bow down to Snyder. They really would.
No, that's not bowing down to Snyder.
They don't have to bow down.
It's not bowing down. No, because they're not going to do it if they want him back. If you want him back, you do what you got to do to get him back. That's not bowing down. That's just doing what you got to do to get what you want.
Isn't that bowing down?
No.
Isn't that bowing down?
No, that is not bowing down. Because if you want him back, you're not bowing down. You're asking him back. That's it. You're not bowing down, and you're going to negotiate with him what makes him happy, because you're the one who wants him back. If that's what their decision is, that's what I'm saying. It's not bowing down to him. It's not like Zack Snyder is. It's not like it's just like, oh, Zack Snyder's coming in, got all these demands, and they're like, oh, we're bowing down to him. No, they don't have to do that, and they may decide not to do that. But it's only going to be all of that's only going to be decided because, like I said, Zack Snyder has never expressed that he wouldn't come back and do anything. It's in their court. The ball is in AT&T's court. AT&T is going to have to look at the numbers, consider the fans, which they will. That's going to be a smaller consideration, but it will be a consideration nonetheless. Consider all of the look. They haven't. Let's be honest. Warner Brothers hasn't gotten this kind of attention in years.
You're right.
Years. Decades.
No years. No years.
You know what I'm saying? In years, probably since Zack Snyder joined the DC universe. Because when he joined, everybody was really excited. They were all hyped about him when he joined the DC universe, when they brought him in to do it. So what I'm saying is they're gonna have to look at it and say, okay, do we want to keep that going? Because let's remember, AT&T, we said this from the beginning. They are a company that is basically run by the fabric of the consumer. They're a consumer-based company, meaning like they want to move everything to devices and that type of media and stuff like that, and mobile media. That's their overall goal. To be successful with that, because that's the type of company. They're a communications company. That's what they are. So if that fits their agenda, then yes, I'm sure they'll negotiate with Zack, and it's not bowing down to him. It's negotiating with what he wants. Because once again, depending on the individual, which an individual has never expressed that he wouldn't want to come back and do this. He's already shown a good faith gesture by doing it for no money. He could have very well demanded money for this, and they would have gave it to him.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
He could have.
And they would have gave him some money. He could, even if it was whatever, he could have demanded any amount of money, but he didn't. That's a good faith gesture. Also kind of tells you a little bit about his character. It doesn't mean that he's going to try to all of a sudden come in and say, I want this, I want that, I want this. It's got to happen. And you got to bow down to me. No, it's just simply, I'm a creator. I want to create. I want people to be out of my way when I create. Then you negotiate the money. That's a whole nother meeting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, we can negotiate the money that they will, that's that.
And here's the thing on top of all of that. What does it say about AT&T that they came in and spent another $80 million on top of just buying? They just bought Warner Brothers, and they come in and throw another $80 million at a project that was already finished to make it to help complete it. so it could get done the way it should have been done in the first place. So that says a lot about AT&T's faith in what Zack's did.
Mm-hmm.
In itself. That says, to me, that speaks volumes. Like, okay, we seen what's happened to you. We saw all the BS that happened to you behind the scenes. And now, you know what? We think that your project, because there is a fan base out there that wants to see this done.
Mm-hmm.
And
that obviously 650 million worth so far that wanted to see Snyder's vision. You know, that says a lot right there from the standpoint. So that's where it is. You know, we'll end it on this note. You know, like obviously one thing that we can agree to is that we have the facts already. We already know that Warner's not going to have any decision in this going forward with Zack Snyder, because their decision's already in. They don't want to work with Zack Snyder no more. That's it. As far as the Warner Media part of it goes, anything going forward, but they didn't want to work with Snyder back then, and now here we are talking and witnessing the Snyder Cut. So they never wanted this to happen, and it would have never happened if it wasn't for those meddling kids. If it wasn't for that meddling AT&T, they would have got away with it. What they did to Snyder and Fisher and everybody else that they did stuff to. But so we got that fact. They want nothing else to do with Snyder, and AT&T now the ball's in their court, because we can't say that Snyder wants nothing to do with them, because Snyder has never said that. He has not said that. He has never said that. And like I said, being that he hasn't said it doesn't mean he don't think it, but it also you got to go by action speaks louder than the words. He came back and did the Justice League cut, the Snyder cut, and didn't get paid for it, and spent a lot of time working on it. That speaks volumes to his character. So from that point on, now it's the side of AT&T is in their court. They have to say, you know what, let's do it, or you know what, let's not do it. So that's where it ends. You know, it's really no real speculation after that. But that's it. You know, we're gonna end the show there. Thanks everybody for obviously coming through. Joseph Tanner, AJ, Perez. Shout out to everybody that came through in the chat rooms, of course. My man Michael Majuri, Jason for Heroes to Icons. Maddie, she popped in for a hot second. So, a couple other people that was shade. I just threw at her. But, you know, well, we love you. And everybody else that came through, man. We'll definitely end the show here. We'll come back next week and talk some more crap. You know, like I said, at the end of the month, the Sharon Stone book comes out. I already pre-ordered it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that once it comes out, you know, and we got more information on it and stuff. Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know, we'll check that out. Continue to check that out as it goes. Ralph, if you can, get
I will watch this week.
And I'm definitely going to watch the Batman movie that I never watched, that I wanted to watch but never watched. So I'm going to watch that, and we'll talk. We'll convene next week and talk about that stuff. All right, y'all. We're getting out of here. We're way over schedule as usual. Yeah, peace out, y'all. We're out.